this conversation because it's 8.
That's fair.
We're going to bring
Sure,
you
but awkward
a
about it.
conversation
I
that
just-
is ongoing chat about
I just see a
Master
thing I
Duel.
like in a lot of fully digital card games where they can just edit cards if they feel like they need to be shifted to make a better.
I mean,
But that's it. It's not a wholly digital card game is what I'm getting at, Axe.
Yeah,
Master
yeah,
Duel is
that
meant
is
to be the simulator of the real-life physical
Yeah.
card game.
I technically agree with you in that I prefer digital card games, I think. Because they have a lot less shittier metas.
Oh, and
Or
I
should
think that's...
refuse that. I should rephrase that. They don't have less shittier metas, their shittier metas last
Yes.
shorter.
The matter is able to be fixed.
Well, and Master
Yes,
Duel could
the-
fix that too. They're just cowards and they don't want whales to cry because their URs are banned.
They walk up to the meta and they hit it with a hammer.
The game has been out 8 months, and like I know it's like the most personal thing. I'm so fucking tired of running into Eldritch decks. I'm so tired of set 5 pass. It sucks.
Man.
He sucks. I don't want to see his face ever again. It's so annoying in a best of 1.
Man, I'm gonna annoy you to God when I play my Eldritch deck, aren't I?
No, probably not, because you're literally not going to have the 5 floodgates you set. Those are all going to be
Well, yeah, I
banned
also don't
for us
play
forever.
those.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I find Eldritch himself annoying because why the fuck does Eldritch have a protect effect that also makes him huge when he already, like, infinitely recycles from the graveyard? Like,
I don't know why he has the attack point modulation.
but,
That's the only effect
hey,
I
you know what I
disagree
can...
with.
Dallas, you know what I can still do about that? Turtle.
Yeah.
Gamma is my spirit animal. If you make an unfun, annoying card, I will Gamma Seal it. I main deck 2 Gamma Seals in my Dragon Maid deck, and I am now main decking 2 Hand Destructions, because I don't give a shit if I put a giant Dragon Maid in the graveyard. And too many times I've bricked on just huge dragons.
I haven't
so, like,
played Master Duel in a long time because there hasn't been like new decks I wanted to play. I played Chaos Thunder for a few months. And I just
yeah,
kinda got tired of just-
that's, by the way, Axe, you're never getting Colossus back. Heads up.
Yeah, no, ever.
I'd
think you
rather
have to...
just have Fusion back because I'm fine with Titan.
We can
Yeah,
probably
you'll
go
probably
to
get
1
that back.
fusion. Titan's still a pain in the ass. But the thing that
Just
you'll be able to
that
do
can
in the
still go
future,
about
because,
Titan
like...
and Fusion.
Because, like, this is the thing you could do in Master Duel that I hate because it got done to me. Ready Fusion exists in Master Duel. That means you can summon Kaminari attack and then make Titan. And you can still make Colossus later. It's very annoying and it's very hard to play through because they both have really annoying
That does
protection effects.
work because
Yeah, it does work. It
that
literally
is
works.
basically the instant Fusion could play as 3. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, no, because it's just vanillas, but there is a vanilla for every type you need. And honestly, I've only seen it like once. I'm not super fussed about that. It just reminded me like, oh yeah, no, Colossus is never coming back. That guy's an asshole.
I
It's
barely
just
ever
like
use Colossus for its effect either. I use
yeah, but other people do,
It
and
doesn't
it's still
matter.
really annoying. And you did
I'm
actually
more just
Colossus
annoyed that like
people.
it's like I guess Fusion has to go to 1, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was Fusion or Titan. We were not dealing with that deck anymore because it's very powerful, very strong. And unlike Konami running Master Duel, we in Prague are like, if we can put a
I
laser
have a
dot on
gun
it,
and I will.
Yeah.
I have a gun. I will shoot any card.
My
Yeah.
problem is like I was coming. I had a dumb line that came to me when I was waking up in the morning. It's like, so my deck is based. The end times have now come,
yeah,
I
there's
mean,
or the
You
end
got-
time,
you
or the
agree
end
with
is here for why I am now based. It's the joke about I've been trying the deck. The deck you call the base paleo deck, and it keeps. I've learned that my luck hates me. I can't draw good hands of that deck.
Well,
ever.
yeah, that's funny, but we'll see what happens. In about a week, by the way, we're not doing Prague this week, in case you haven't picked up on that yet, chat. I see several of you lurking in there. I'm not saying anything as we bitch about Master Duel. It's okay. We'll move on. Though, the Master Duel stream we did last week when we were short on a few people did actually do okay. It just took a while for the views to round out.
Well,
But yeah,
I guess
I'm more proactively
it's-
playing Master Duel, and there are still some decks that are stupid, and I hate them. Starting with Enchantress and Aramesir Limited does literally nothing, because...
Oh, they're not limited. They're semi-limited.
That's what I mean. Yeah, sorry, semi-limit. Starting with them as semi-limit doesn't do anything because the semi-limit list is fake and has never changed anything ever. But
That's not true. It is fixed exactly malicious.
true.
That is literally.
That is true. That's
it's
the
not
only thing it
cards where
fixes.
you.
The
if it-
malicious
if-
zone.
I feel like there's probably other cards that if you because they have a loop that when you
Well,
have
yeah.
all 3.
Yeah.
But, like it's very niche cards. But
There's a
No,
there's a
yeah,
couple
it's-
that it can theoretically work for. Mainstay cards where there's about like 90 ways to get him doesn't matter. And the unfortunate thing is, if you can find Enchantress, you can find Aramesir, which means you can find your entire deck because Adventure is dumb. I really don't
Honestly,
like it. It's a literal 1-card combo. You play one card, you get to do whatever you like.
Yeah, it's not great because it's just how. Again, it's the problem of how Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean,
needs
that's
to not
kind of
needs to be
modern
less generic
Yu-Gi-Oh!
about
I mean,
shit.
it is, but it's literally you play 1 card, summon a token, and then you activate from your deck your continuous spell to do whatever, and then you do like 5 more things. Like,
I think,
and the fact that they can play like the whole prank kit engine on top of it is
also,
really annoying.
I do want to call someone out who tried to own me and in a pathetic way failed horribly.
Oh yeah. I didn't say anything when Robin gave you that.
Robin talking shit, adding me. It's like, oh, you told me that Spite was gonna be the dominant meta, posting the modern OCG meta to your list.
Yes, Robin committed the cardinal sin of Yu-Gi-Oh players. He forgot to read.
Not reading, yeah. No, yes, post the banning of Frog and Hauka Fibrax. Yeah, no, Spite isn't very.
Yeah,
dominant.
post
That is
Toad
true.
and with the Ishizu support that's not out yet. Yes, tier is good.
I weirdly thought, because I guess when we first saw the cards, it was like I thought Split on its own without Toad would looked really good, but I guess it's just things are stronger than
Oh no, it is still really good. It's still like 30 or
it's
40%
still
of the
a
meta.
meta
It's
deck.
just it's not a tier 0 deck anymore, or almost tier 0. I don't remember if the
Is it
actual
better when there
math
aren't
worked
tier
out.
0 decks, honestly?
Yes.
Well, yes, because in case you forgot, tier 0 basically means 2/3 of every deck at a tournament is that exact deck type,
Yeah.
which is
Oh.
The way
bad.
Yu-Gi-Oh, the way that tier 0, like I am perfectly fine with there being like 4 or 5 tier 1 decks as long as they have diverse play patterns.
Yeah,
But tier 0 to me is inherently bad.
that means that nothing
because
else is worth
there
playing.
is no diverse.
And-
Can you check if your mic cord is a bit loose?
I mean, I think he sounds okay to me right now.
Okay, no, it's not loose.
No,
Okay.
he sounds alright. He sounds better. But yeah, like I said, though I do want to say, out of joy though, I have found I was able to make yet another Master Duel deck that I love, which is Live Twin. I tweeted about this, but Trouble Sunny does so much. She literally makes your entire deck work. Like, the fact that you can do your whole plays and you have an in-archetype Link 4 to go into after you do the summon back, and then you can, on your opponent's turn, quick effect bin Trouble Sunny to summon back your 2 links, which gets you a draw and a pop on your opponent's turn. So you have your mandatory 1 bit of interaction. And then she can banish herself to bin Kiseki Lila to the graveyard, which is one of the places it can be special summoned from, and send a card on the field to graveyard on your turn again. Is like, it's just really useful for breaking boards. And a lot of people refuse to read how Evil Twins work, and I have dunked on quite a few people in Silver playing decks they thought were cool, but were not. Some motherfucker tried to get me with Galaxy Eyes, stealing my fucking Kiseki Lila to level up into a big dumb idiot. Tried to beat me up, and I was like, nah, fam, banish Lila Treat. Your 4K beater that's gonna OTK me? He's tiny now, because you did like 3K damage. Fuck you.
See, the secret to this is play a deck where you don't have to read your opponent's cards. You only have to read your cards. And then just look at your opponent and go, out me. Out me or die.
Yeah, that is the Adagnister style.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. I think I find Live Twin a little more stimulating because I do have to know what my opponent is doing. I only get, like,
That's fair.
1 really good disruption a turn. Sometimes 2. I am actually playing Present. Present is cracked off of Trouble Sunny. That's the one where you get to, if you control a Kiseki and Lila monster, you get to swap one of them with one of your opponent's monsters. You get to creature swap them as a trap card. So if you get a once per turn pop off summoning back Link Lila, and then you Present to swap monsters, there are a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That don't play through that so good because they're like, oh, well, now I can't make a really annoying Xyz, or now I can't, I can't link for my boss monster because you got rid of my one in-archetype guy.
I mean, I do lie. Agnister does have a lot of interaction. The difference is all of it is third party. It's hand traps.
Yeah,
and
that's
I get
fair.
to play. I get to play the full crossout suite, which I actually find fun.
Interesting. I haven't fucked with Crossout at all. I
that's
still run
because,
Too Cold by.
I think Agnister. How many main deck cards do I have in the deck? I think I have. Like,
I mean, I've got some flex slots. My
7.
variant of Live Twin is very
Well,
weird. I'm still running
no,
3
oh.
boot staggered to frickin' chain block.
Yeah, but Omega. I think Agnister literally only has 17 cards in main deck.
Yeah, you got a lot of wiggle room. The hand trap thing is kind of how...
The extra deck, there is no room. That doesn't exist.
That's kind of how... That's the opposite of Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid, you have to play a very beefy main deck because you need a lot of spells and you need some of the girls, but they have their own hand trap effects. The extra deck is literally, I'm like, fuck it, put access code in here. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not put access code in there with a couple of my Link 2s? Why the fuck not put VFD in there? Because very rarely I will summon 2 House Dragon Maids, and for some ungodly reason, Konami lets me do that. But all right, we've been going for about 10 minutes.
So I did
go ahead,
lie.
finish your thought.
There are 18 main deck required cards. Although I will say 3 of those are Signet Mining, so I don't know how much that counts.
Cyber stuff, of course.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Stuff.
it's an Ultra and it sucks, but or in Master Duel, it was a secret in real life. I think the first time.
Yeah.
But I
Oh
play.
no, I didn't get a single copy of it.
Yeah, I play. That's gonna be sad for me. Yes, I do run 1 copy of Five-Headed Dragon, just in case I need the big blowout. It's very funny. It's very funny to beat people's ass in the year 2022 in Master Duel with a 5-God Dragon. When is that guy gonna get a summon animation, by the way? Konami, come on, help me out here. It's hilarious. But yeah, I don't think I got any Signet Mining out of our opening either, which is gonna make me sad when I want to run Live Twin, because that is one of the cards you can run to get you, because you can run Sunny Snitch when it comes out as your main searcher, but you can also run Signet Mining to get to the 2 base ones.
Yeah, I think adding this is the same way. It's like we have our in-archetype tutor, but it's a once per turn, and having 2...
Yeah.
It is not a 1-card combo deck, it's a 2-card. You need 2 normal monsters.
That
Not
at least
normal,
I can say about Live Twin is if your opponent lets you get away with it, you are a 1-card combo. The problem is that your opponent has like 4 different. I mean, you still need 2 monsters. It's just that each of the little ones summons from deck. So if your opponent ashes your normal summon of Kiss a Killer Lilla Live Twin, unless you have a very specific card to summon one from deck, which also requires a pitch, that's it. You're dead. You're donezo. You will lose because you have a tiny baby monster on board. But we are not here to talk too much about Master Duel. Go back and watch that stream last week if you want. We are here to discuss another entry on our lovely saga to talk about all the dual terminal and stuff archetypes. Yes. We're running out, actually. I think in this journey it has to be Infernoid next, right?
Yes, and I think that's it.
Infernoid.
And then we got to find some other stuff. Like, we could start on World Legacy, or we could try some other bum stuff.
Or we can go
Probably,
find...
yeah,
Actually,
probably one of those things. Probably don't touch like World Legacy.
I mean, it's finished.
World Legacy is gonna be weird. It's just like you have to touch on the World Legacy main of the normal monsters and not the normal monsters, and going between that's sort of weird because
There would have to be a
history is
story order.
weird.
There's a story order, which I think Master might at least help distribute that, I guess, because you'd actually have to tell that in a narrative order to make.
I
add
mean,
value.
mostly it's not that. Like, technically, with the cards that say World Legacy, there are some very late storyline stuff that's a little weird, but for the most part, it's very linear. Because it's like, World Chalice, and then Crawlas, and then, all that stuff.
Yeah, World Chalice Crawlers, Magnites, etc.
Yeah, it basically won't do World Legacy itself. Probably
The
do, like,
main thing will be
Boost
some of those archetypes are tiny baby archetypes. Like, Nightmare is what, like, 6 cards,
3
7
cards.
cards?
Yeah. They were
There's
literally
two
the
main
mid.
deck
They're
and
literally
then-
No,
the
Dallas.
penultimate
They're
buffer.
about 4 of them are legal now. Because 2 of the links got banned.
Yeah, there's 6, right.
Yes.
Also, we
the same
could
with
take a break
Magnites.
from doing long form ones, and we could just do a stream of just all the bunch of the smaller storylines,
Oh.
or like the ones that are only toned for
Hmm.
art and not actually the card effects, like
I mean, we can pick
the
other
Yu-Gi-Oh
series and stuff,
storyline,
yeah.
or like
Right,
even
not-
like
right,
the
not counting like the ones
Grepper
that
storylines.
go
Well, there's
to
no
other
Grepper
archetypes,
storyline.
but yeah.
That's just
the point of
memes.
the point of Grepher is literally there's like 5 dudes. There's even a trap card where he meets himself.
Yeah, because he's yeah,
Because it's just like there isn't actually a storyline here. We just make up new Greffers. Also, there's only like 4 of him. We can figure out some stuff with your help, chat. Though we have at least 1 free stream this month because the poll will be over, and I haven't looked in about a week, but I'm dead certain Machina has won because it was at like 6.
Yeah.
We'll see if I know. We'll see if there's a card I don't know.
Probably. There's a lot of fucking Machinas, not all of which are good.
And
I
some
know.
of them are
I mean,
not
I
even
used to own
named
the
Machina.
Machinas, and they're all not great, except like 2 of them.
I think like few of them are not even named on.
But we are here to talk about Cleese. Luckily,
Yeah.
Dallas is here.
Hmm. Oh right, yeah.
Also, Axe is here, and he can maybe recall incorrectly how to play Cleese because he never main decked 5 skill drains or whatever.
I do
That's
know
not
how to
fun.
play Cleese. I actually never played the skill drain build of it.
Well, part of that is I don't know why the EDO Pro one does. Maybe that was more popular, but
Also, the
Cleese
Ascendant one
literally
does too.
have an in-archetype skill drain.
Yeah, I think that was
It's
more
not as good,
popular
but it's more
after
usable.
later.
We could do DD, but that's very long. Also, by the way, I hope you're enjoying this slightly cursed music I have found in the background. It's from the game Hive Fleet, which I believe Hive Fleet, which is one of the. It's a very weird airship game that you've probably seen on the internet.
Oh Jesus, I forgot how much.
Now, luckily, there
Yeah.
aren't a hell of a lot of Cleese, so we might get out of here before we all shrivel up into prunes. But I have begun by displaying Cleefort Scout. It was part of the first wave in the new challengers.
It's one of the most important ones.
Actually, hold on. I need to double check because I think I just realized I may have misordered. No, not gallery. Frickin'. No, I opened a new tab. That won't help. Blah blah. There we go. Archetypes clean. The Yugipedia is more stable. I do not necessarily like how they lay out stuff. I need to double check that a couple of my later cards are in the correct order in my notes. While I'm doing that, you can discuss Scout. Go for it.
I like the coloring and like the design to them. I also just it's a weird mix between an oval shield, like between like an oval shield and like has like spider limbs attached with it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a sword.
So the thing with the clay is they're all based off of the Cleefoth, which is interesting and continues their hilarious trend of weirdly like Judeo theology in the villains for the oh god, what the fuck is it called again? My brain just died.
Dual terminal.
Dual Terminal saga. Yeah, no, Scout honestly just looks like a ship from Razafon. That's like all I can think.
Makes sense. We're starting here because Scout is pretty iconic. It is shown in some form in a lot of their spell and trap cards doing stuff. We won't be talking about a hell of a lot of the spell and trap card arts. There are a couple we do need to actually mention because they are doing slightly different things. But some of them we don't. Like, one, I don't think we need to mention Laser Clip because did you play Laser Clip? But also, Laser Clip is just towers shoot some laser beams. It's a really weird art for a field spell.
Also, Lazy Clip is just like, screw you, service dwellers. We're just going out to shoot holes. If you get caught with the crossfires, die.
Yeah, Tower shoots a lot of lasers. But Scout is both essential for the deck and also, like I said, it's pretty iconic. He shows up a little bit. Hopefully I've got all my stuff in order. Anyway. But yeah, no, he looks like a little ship boat. I mean, I personally think with like the kind of cross shape, it looks kind of like a little sword or knife.
Hey Omega, are you ready to play the game again this week?
Oh.
In what the fuck was the localization team doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are another archetype that, for reasons, I don't even understand these ones, because, like, they aren't named after specific figures that would be recognizable to anyone, like, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I can see a couple that they would want to, like, hey, spoilers for the future. Though not really, because Towers is literally next, because Apocalypse. And we need to talk about Towers. That was in the OCG was Killer. So it was Cleefort Killer. I can see why they wouldn't want to do that. That follows, sure. But a lot of the rest of these are just named after, like, computing terms. With the exception of, I think, Helix, which was called Genome in the OCG. Helix is basically the same. I guess they were just thinking that well, one, Tool has been an insult before. I don't know, that sometimes Konami of America is very weird about what they will and will not call things. Because the game is allegedly for 6-year-olds. Allegedly. So Cleefort Scout is called Cleefort Sudo or Tool in the OCG. I mean, I think with what they're doing for it, Cleefort Scout makes more sense, given its function. Because I don't know if I would call this a tool. It's a weird thing.
Well, so I can tell you a little bit about that. So what they're trying to do is the Japanese are trying to do terms that are related to the Hebrew terms of the Qliphoth. So sudo or tool is kaitul, is the Hebrew term, is kaitul.
Ah, okay.
So, and then for another, so scout, which is tool, is kaitul. And
Okay,
there's a
okay.
lot
I'm looking at the comparison now.
They definitely had to give up with some of them because they're just like, I don't know.
Well, and
Like,
also it's fucking weird. Like,
It's
so,
Hebrew.
Well, for instance,
do
so
my-
with Helix, so in the OCG, the Romaji for that name is Genome. You know that one before if you watch the anime. The way that the corresponding Qlipha is pronounced is Kemuda. Yeah, it's Hemda in Hebrew, but it's Kemuda in the Romaji, the Japanese pronunciation for it. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're going for. Those are still dumb. Those syllables, those sounds don't match up.
I mean, romanticizing the hem with a G is not unheard of before. That's actually not.
But the Japanese doesn't do that because I'm literally looking at the table and it's like
they go to
for a
Kemuda,
K, and I'm just like,
okay, yeah, it's like that was a choice.
Yeah.
But no, I see what they were trying to do because it is kind of interesting how they could fit those into that.
Yes.
That's kind of an interesting tidbit. Because most of them I think there's like one big exception, other than Hemna.
Yeah.
But are like very much fit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's like they go with Husk Fort because it's not. It's they went for a more regular F sound than the F. But that I think is a better localization. But there's a lot of weird stuff here that they went for.
Also, for a fun fact, Scout literally would just mean ugly.
Yeah. So
That's what Kaitul means, ugliness.
Cleefort Scout is a Earth Machine monster. It is a level 5 a normal monster. It has 1k attack, 2800 defense. It's a pendulum monster as well. I brought this up in chat. People were talking about how its art is extended. That's how pendulums work because they have the extra boxes. It is a scale 9, so this is your high scale. Its pendulum effect is you can't special summon monsters except Clees. This can't be negated. Once per turn, pay 800 life points. Add a Clee card from your deck to your hand except Cleefort Scout. Scout is the deck, basically.
I'll say this. There's one other card, I would argue, that does the same thing. But
well, yeah, they have two sides of this kind of stuff.
So fun fact is Clee is what I like to call the first instance of well-designed pendulum cards. Because instead of doing that thing that a lot of pendulum decks do, where they just have a bunch of random scale numbers, that don't make any fucking sense at all.
Yeah.
All Clees are either scale 1 or scale 9.
Yes, and this is something you see with a lot of later pendulum decks where they figure out where they want the minimum and the high scale. Like Metal Foes does this, right? Like everybody is like 1 or 8, I think.
Most of the good pendulum archetypes do this. Like Pen Magicians does it. Oh god, I just forgot the Wind Spellcaster one. Why did my brain die?
Magispector.
Yeah, Magispector does it. Like all of those have this is what we want the minimum to be. This is what we have the maximum to be. There might be like
by
one
the
or
way,
two
chat, the
exceptions,
minimum is usually 1. Sometimes it is
Sometimes two.
higher. But
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
usually
two.
1 because the way pendulum scaling works is
Yeah.
one means you can't summon level 1 monsters. So you
I
can
would say
still
it's
get around.
generally under 3.
Yes, it's very low. Unless your deck is like entirely high level, they might play around with it, but usually they don't. It's usually
And then you have pendulum archetypes like DDD, where I believe we have every scale number, I think.
yeah, there are a few like that. Some of that is probably because DDD was in the anime, and I'm sure it was somehow a plot point that what's his
Well, no,
nuts needed
so
like a
fun fact, the anime guy dropped the pendulum stuff, kind of. Where the pendulum stuff came in real, like, big was the manga, which is why a lot of the pendulum cards came in later. They were the
makes sense.
manga,
Still, probably need some weird stuff. And there are some other exceptions, like Sulfacord, for instance, has a lot of different numbers, but that's because Sulfacord literally is about not necessarily the number of the scale, whether the scale is odd or even, because that's how their effects play. And
But yeah.
God, so I've played against some Sofa players in Master Duel. It's I mean, they're a pendulum deck, so they're pretty unresilient to pop scales. But that is a freaky deck that's hard to wrap your brain around because you have to be like, okay, do you have both scales? They're odd and even. Okay, you have 2 effects. I popped 1 scale, all your monsters still have another effect. Like it's an interesting wombo combo. But anyway, that's what Scout's pendulum effect was, and you notice I said it was a normal monster. That's right. It does not have effect. It is just a guy.
No.
Not that that matters because, as pointed out, its pendulum effect to pay 800 search is what you will normally be using Scout for.
Yeah. I don't think Scout is generally summoned first.
Yes.
Very,
Very
sometimes,
rarely,
obviously,
if you are
it is.
having a bad time with Cleese, you might, like, tribute set a Scout because he is a 1 tribute 2800 ass if something bad has happened to you.
Or
but that
if
means
you've
something
already
bad's
gotten your
happened to you.
scales online, you
Yeah.
pendulum out a Scout. It's not.
Because that means he doesn't have the monster effect where his stats are reduced as well. He's just a tiny baby boy. So what his, or its, I should say, it is a machine. What Scout's flavor text is booting in replica mode. An error has occurred while executing C/Sophia/Zephyra.exe. Unknown publisher. Allows C/Tierra/Cleafort.exe. YN. Why? Booting in autonomy mode. So basically saying that an error in the God system, in the God machine, has occurred. We have inappropriately booted the Zephyra EXE from the Sophia drive. We're going to boot the Cleafort system from the Tierra drive. And then they boot in autonomous mode. So, yes.
Interesting how, like, they have literally their mortal enemy as a backup drive.
Well, they're all,
Well,
it's creation and destruction, so they're against each, they're, intertwined.
Right, so I guess the error is like, we're gonna do purge mode activate.
And so it's very interesting that they were based off the Cleafoth, because I think in the dual terminal, Clees are supposed to be viewed as not inherently evil. I think that's true. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, they're a response to the Shadals. There is a Klee Master Do Solo mode if you guys want to remind yourself on it. They're supposed to be there to stop the Shadals. Like, they don't actually start awakening until I believe Winda touches the tree in a bad
when
way.
it tries to
Yeah.
resurrect herself, yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
partially
are
that.
still blind destruction. Like, they're just fucking everything up. So they're... I like a lot of things like this, they're just kind of forces of nature. It's kind of like how the Master Do Solo mode portrays the Monarchs, right? Like, the Cleafort just kind of show up and give everybody a bad time, but they're not really evil.
No,
they're just
I wonder how
a
much that
function.
was thought. I wonder how much that was thought of ahead of time.
Oh, actually, it will be I think a card that we'll see later, which actually explains how the Quill Fodder activates.
yes.
'Cause-
There, that
Yeah,
is. It's
so
way down my
thanks
list.
to, I think, Grista.
Yeah, 'cause
yes.
to put it in perspective from a standpoint of theology, the Cleafoth is inherently evil. It's literally the tree of all sin
Yeah, it's the negative of the
of
tree
the
of knowledge.
Sephiroth or Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Sephiroth.
But Martha is correct. The actual most of the Clees technically don't boot up until later. At the bottom of my current list, after we go through because it's alphabetical, we'll get to Sacrifice, which shows this. Though there is... Which spell trap was it? Technically not...
Is Clipper launch?
Yeah, there's I assume it's pronounced Clife's End. It's just Life's End with a Q in front of it. That shows a little guy flying out of something. Actually, that might be the end. That's just like Tira. Did we eject at the end? Maybe that is. But the Clipper launch... Where is it? There it is, yeah. We'll pull up that card art really quick. Because based on the way this one looks... And...
Cliff's End is one that shoots off from something.
Yeah, and when was this? This was in the new Challenger, so this was in the main set. So let's show Clipper launch. So yeah, you can see the roots of the tree. We've shown climate change on this stream before, like a couple of times. We're not going to do it again, but
Yeah.
Clipper launch makes it look like maybe it's still underground or everything's still attached to the tree, and we are launching the Scout, which has its light lit up.
Yeah.
Those lights are the Gem Knight's Pyroxenes, because though we can't get rid of those.
Yeah, the cores.
So, by the way, I do want to throw this out there. Clipper Launch has a much better name in the TCG. The name in the OCG was Portrayal, which, let me see if I can get, like, if there's a theory on why it is spelled that way exactly. Oh, it's named after the fucking programming language Fortran. Yeah, that's just... That you're trying too hard, OCG. Clipper Launch is just, like... It's a god-awful pun, as all of the spell trap names are in the TCG, but it at least works.
A lot of archetype traps are.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've talked about it. You have Sacrifice, Climate Change, Laser Clip. We're not going to talk about Laser Clip. That's just Tower blows shit up. Speaking of which, here he is. He's come to ruin your card game forever. It's Towers.
Towers.
Apocryphal Fort Towers. A card whose effect was so iconic, we call monsters like this Towers to this day.
Yeah. I think there's not even any, like, level 11 or level 12 monsters that even have good destruction effects against this guy.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Or
Well,
rank.
Obviously, like...
Except for maybe shooting place or ring.
Yeah, no, there's actually a lot of ways to... Despite Towers being called the Towers, this card is actually very easy to out. But the thing with Kledex is they're very good at resummoning it.
Yes.
Because the fact that it says level means Xyz, which we're out of time, can just... Okay, you're gone.
Yeah, no, it's very easy with certain Xyz decks to just be like, oh, you have 3k? Okay, I make any Galaxy Eyes Xyz, I eat you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he's not unaffected from Xyz either. So you could just go, what's his fucking name?
Big Eye.
That wasn't what I was going for, but yeah.
Well, I don't know what you're going for. You aren't describing what
Castel.
Oh, okay, Castel Shuffleback. Yeah.
Yeah, just.
I mean, that's dumb though. That's because you shuffle him back. The guy just pays 800 life points and searches him again.
Actually,
Diamond Crab King's a good one. That would crash.
actually no. Castell won.
Also, yes, Dallas. By the way, you're wrong. It says rank because you're a dumbus.
Yeah,
Oh, it does say rank.
his level and rank. So
Yeah.
when Lace came out, this guy was.
So the only way to do it is to crash, or as somebody said, Kaiju, which is great. Gameciel is my spirit animal.
Or Link monsters at this point.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't matter. Clees haven't been relevant for many years before Links
That is
even.
very true.
Links and you don't even need Links. Master Rule 4 probably kills off a decent amount of the Clees. They're not all of them.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So it's annoying. Because here's Towers. I mean, I don't think there's a lot to say about his art. I think we even pulled this up for comparison when we talked about Shadal Shekanaga the other day.
Yeah. He's just a very big dude.
Yeah. And I gotta be real. I once again agree that I think the TCG name is better. This name in the OCG we talked about was just Clefort Killer. In English, Kira. Other than being, a sick, timely Death Note reference, that doesn't really mean anything. This doesn't look like a killer to me. It's a giant flying space crab tower thing. So calling it Apocryphort Towers, works.
Yeah. All I can say is this guy is rocking the RGB color scheme for those color lights on here.
Yeah, he's got a gaming accessories.
He's got the computer grip.
Actually, that's a good question. This was what, 2015? I think, or no, this was 2014. It was late 2014. Because I know they've been around a long time. Were people buying, cool gamer keyboards and mouses with the RGB coding back then?
No, it was mostly the big thing in was sleek, white, Alienware kind of stuff.
Yeah, because technically, given that these guys are all named after references to computing, I could totally see that being a deliberate choice. What it actually
Although
is,
I don't know
he's supposed to
Japan,
have the
so.
rainbow pirate scene. As far as I know about Japanese computing, is like that. It's just kawaii stickers and stuff. Tower of Babel also works. Yes, thank you, Varen in chat. It's kind of like that. There's I think some more subtle meaning to Apocryphort Towers than Apocryphort Killer.
Yeah, no.
But is there anything else to say about what this guy looks like?
Not really.
Though I will say, shout out to the artist for the background work, the sun high in the sky over its head and the panoramic.
No,
view.
I was about to say that. I really love the posing of this because it's it's a very what this is up. You know what's up with this.
This is a big boy, the great cloud detail. But okay, so Apocryphort Towers is a level 10 Earth machine. It has 3k attack and 2600 defense. So it is not a pendulum monster. This is just a normal ass effect monster. Its effect reads: cannot be special summoned. Requires 3 Klee tributes to normal summon or set. If this card is normal summoned or set, never mind that you can't not do that. It is unaffected by all spell trap effects and by activated effects from any monster whose original level/rank is lower than this card's current level. I do believe for whatchamacallit, Mischief of the Gnomes changes their levels in hand for the rest of the turn. Does that apply to the field as well?
I think so.
There are some effects which will actually change them before we get to them being normal summoned. So there are some things you can do. All special summon monsters lose 500 attack and defense, which again that just goes into him being really annoying. And then also, because just being a big asshole who makes all your opponent's monsters smaller and is unaffected isn't enough, once per turn you can make an opponent send one monster from their hand or their side of the field to the graveyard, their choice. So yeah, this is Towers. He is a fucker.
This is America.
By his presence, our game has forever been changed by this doofus.
Yeah. No, this doofus is a big boy.
As we've brought up, it's pretty easy to out him these days. Links obviously completely ignore his effect because he doesn't account for link rating. And you can just, Gamma Seal him. You can just turn him into a turtle.
Well, yeah, and he was Klees were not I think people overestimate at times the dominance of Towers because Klees were never a
no. Klees weren't
tier 1 mega
super
threat.
Good deck. It's just that they were rogue enough that if you didn't know what you were gonna do about Towers, you could get dogged out of a tournament.
I wouldn't call them rogue.
Yeah, rogue maybe is a little. That's a little low. That's
tier
1/3.
They were tier 2.
Yeah.
They were lowly represented, but Towers is enough of a fucker that if you don't have a game plan for Towers, your opponent will just scrape easy wins off you.
Yeah, and it was enough for the TCG to knock Forward Scout down to 2 than 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously Scout is both a very essential pendulum scale and also a really easy way to search Towers.
It was never the tier 0 meta threat.
No.
Kind of deck, but it was also very good for a very long
honestly,
time.
I feel like while they're very annoying, I feel like decks that end in actual unoutable bosses are very rare at the toppest level, right? I know Adignister is good, but they don't have a hell of a lot of representation.
Adignister is rogue. Like,
Yeah.
it is very fair to call out Ignister Whip. They are. Because they died to interruption.
Technically, you know, full armor master is also that way, right? We've talked about that. He's kind of a fucker, but they're also just make access code and flatten him.
But I think the thing to point out about Cleese, and what I will give them credit for, is while they were never a tier 1 deck, they were a tier 2 deck for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, they had representation for 2 whole fucking years.
It's because they're a pretty solid core. So in case you guys didn't get the game plan of Cleese, what you're supposed to do with the deck, and keep in mind that, again, there's a literal skill drain variant where you just flip skill drain and that makes all your Cleese huge. We'll discuss that later. But what you're supposed to do is pen summon 3, normal summon towers, and then you can just pend back your guys if you need more bodies. And because towers is unaffected by all spell trap effects, that also means that if you are playing the skill drain variant, you don't need to worry about that with him because he's just like, nah, fam. Skill drain, never heard of him.
Yeah.
Also, you could play Vanities because that's a card that should exist.
Also, Clee, well, I think Vanities was banned at the time of Clee for it.
No.
Sorry, TCG.
I don't know about that, Dallas. Look at
Oh,
the...
no, it was a 3. It was a 3.
Yeah, look at the Clee deck in the EDO Pro. They run that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, so the first run of
Banned
Cleese was...
because of Clee.
Yes, the first run of Cleese was late 2014. Their first set was New Challengers, which was November that year.
Yeah, they were represented in 2014.
By the
honestly,
way,
they had...
is where the bulk of their cards are. After New Challengers, there's only like 4 Clee monsters? Yeah. One of which is the Legacy Support Link, which we will talk about. But okay. I am ready to pull up the next void. Does anybody have anything to say about Towers before he goes away forever?
Yeah, I want to... Because this is the other one where the name doesn't make... I don't know how they got to this.
Yeah.
Because the name is Kimarant. Or Kimranut. Kimranut? I don't know how to pronounce that. I've never seen a Hebrew word with a Q before. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think there were those.
It seems to be what the Japanese went for is the Romaji is Kimuranto. So they just went Kira.
Yeah, I can't really blame them for that, considering I've never seen this word in my life.
Yeah. So they kept it simple. All right. Our next...
Because this literally means... Fun fact, the word means ephemeral.
It's pretty good. Alright. We're back to Pendulum Monster so we get the Long Boy card art. This is Cleefort Carrier. In the OCG, this was Cleefort Archive. I can see why in the TCG they decided to call it Carrier because...
it's just an aircraft carrier.
Oh, hey, it's Battleship 2033.
Oh yeah, there's about a bajillion classic shmup video games this reminds me of. Y'all ever played Super Earth Defense Force?
Yeah.
Gradius?
Yeah.
I played Gradius. I probably messed up the future battleship name because
there's a lot of things. You can also see, by the way, it's got the green Pyroxene in its thingy. Which, by the way, those core Pyroxene things have to be shape-changing because I know Grista was huge, but not all the Gem Knights were this huge. And this thing is huge.
They got juiced up by the tree, that's it.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, I like this design. Like, he's got a lot of little Clees coming out. It's like it rose out of an ice crack from that one mission I hated in Valkyria Chronicles 4 that made me rage quit the game. But like it's very interesting. Once again, the backgrounds are fucking phenomenal. There's like an aurora effect behind it and this like sweeping long shot of the horizon. Like there's not a lot to say about the actual Clee designs other than yep, spaceship. But there's a lot of good art done in these.
Yeah. The background is very good.
Yeah.
No, I think this is probably my least favorite because it looks the most like an actual thing.
Yeah, it is kind of just a weird space boat.
This is like. I like the weird esoteric nature of a lot of the other Cleves.
Oh, we'll get there. Spoilers, guys,
yeah.
if you've never seen this card before, one of the Cleeforts is literally named Cleefort Cephalopod.
Yeah, no.
I still like the landscape shots and.
I mean, it's cool, but
coloring
it's
of
just this is just a mech battle.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. It's neat, but it's not standout, other than the backgrounds are.
I don't know. I just like the way the material looks on it, and so like I know it's just kind of meant to be like weird divine metal, but hey.
Yeah, no, like I said, nothing really detracts from this. It's just not necessarily the best assistant.
This is the textbook definition of safe, I think.
So
It's
Cleefort
also it also kind of adds to the joke about the side joke of Filbert. I would buy like a bottle of this,
I wouldn't.
or at least of a Clee.
I mean,
maybe not
I
this
would,
one, but-
you know, in Dungeon Dice Monsters was cool, but like I'm very shocked they haven't actually tried to make like a Yu-Gi-Oh miniatures game, especially with 3D printing being the way it is. But I don't know what the state of miniatures games is in Japan. I've heard I heard years ago they play Imperial Guard. That's all I know. Despite the fact that Tau are definitely made to try and catch the mecha market, they mostly, I think, caught Western mecha nerds. Anyway,
Yeah. No, I can to respond to someone in chat. I can definitely see this is very much in the similar style of the like Fate Buddhist mecha thing.
Yeah, they were talking about towers, I think, when they were talking about Mothman's big body, but this is definitely like, what the fuck is it called? Vimyana? Whatever the weird laser boat Gil had in Fate Zero.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, or Ozymandias' sun boat, because this is a boat. Anyway, Cleefort Carrier is an Earth Machine Pendulum effect monster. It has level 6 normally. It is pen scale 1, so it is a low scale. It normally has 2400 attack, 1000 defense. Its pendulum effect is you cannot special summon monsters except Clee monsters, so this can't be negated. And then also all Clees you control gain 300 attack, because this is another thing Clee did and why they were kind of annoying. I talked about how you could play them kind of floodgatey. Very similar to how, like, you heard me complain earlier about how in Master Duel, Eldritch is very annoying because most people just play the set 5 pass variant, which is the most smooth brand Eldritch take. Clees also get to do that, but because when they came out, the pendulum zones were separate, they also got 2 extra zones for basically annoying floodgate type effects.
Yeah.
So we haven't got to the worst one yet, but Carrier increases all your Clees by 300, which, hey, guess what? That's kind of annoying for some other guys. I do believe Towers does not get that bonus because this counts as a spell card. So they're at least nice that way. But yeah. Now, monster effects. You can summon Cleefort Carrier without tributing. If this card is normal summoned without tributing, or if it is special summoned, its level becomes 4 and its attack becomes 1800. Now, most of the Clees have an effect like this. Where they can be specialed without or they can be normal without tributing. If they are normaled without tributing or specialed, they reduce their level by an amount and their attack changes. It's not, I don't think it's universal, but it's usually like this.
No, yeah, it's. I can say, with the exception of the Searchers, that's generally the Clee effect.
Yes, I just don't know because I haven't read all of them back to back. I don't know if all of them are literally all level 4 1800. I think they might be different. We'll see. Then further point, period, new sentence. If this card is normal summoned / set, it is unaffected by activated effects from any monster whose level or rank is lower than this card's current level. If this card is tributed, target one monster on the field, return it to the hand. So once again, you see the Cleefort strategy. You can normal summon them without tributing to get extra bodies on board, and I believe most of them will have that unaffected effect. But they tend to have lower levels and ranks when you normal them without tributing. But they also are a tribute engine. Like, honestly...
You could do some... Like, here's the reason I don't actually hate Clees as much as a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Is because despite there being a solved quote-unquote version that was primarily displayed, there are a lot of wacky variants. Like, you can run Cleefort Monarch build style.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
Stuff like Stormforth.
Yeah, I think Klees were kind of like a preview of the direction Monarchs were gonna go in, because this was before the second wave of the Monarch structure deck. I believe. So you didn't have access to Stormforge when they first came out.
They're more interesting than they were displayed as.
And you can see that if you actually play the Master Dude solo mode, because of course there are a couple of extra decks. Unfortunately, one of them, the one they give to the AI, is Tree Draco Klee, which sucked, if I remember correctly. For me.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, why would you give the AI the most unfun deck to play against? I don't know why you would do that.
I don't remember having trouble against the Klee AI, so maybe they just bricked.
Well, that's the thing that's basically what you do for a lot of dumb Master Duel matchups. If the opponent just has such a great deck that blows you the fuck out, you just hope that they brick. Like, you have to hope they draw the one hand where they can't do anything, because if they can do anything, their deck is, like, laser-tuned. I think I talked about this saltily on stream. I feel like some of those decks are, like, developer pet decks that they, like, crafted to perfection. Because the AI seems to be programmed to know exactly what to do with them.
I mean, I maintain, and I will stand by this, the best gate they've done for story mode in terms of power level is the Danger Gate, because they basically took the two best Danger decks and gave one to the opponent and one to you.
Yeah, no. I think the Danger, I blew through the Danger deck the Danger setup pretty easily. I will also say, I think it's because some of them are lower powered. Just in general, the Nephthys Gate and the Beat Trooper Gate, the very newer one, are also both pretty manageable because, Dallas knows this. One of the decks they give you is probably the most based Beat Trooper deck, which is the Giant Ballpark variant.
Yeah.
That's great.
But like in general, the highest roly part of Beat Troopers is usually the Beat Troopers. Like, insect decks were not super good. I think the only thing they don't try to do is I don't believe there was an Insector Beat Trooper mashup, because that doesn't work. I don't remember that deck being in the solo mode.
Don't think so. They might have just given like the Link monster just because.
Well, yeah, they gave you Pico Felina because, like a lot of Link 2s, she's just generic insect support, but.
Well, yeah.
There's some variance there, but yeah, so, and also, once again, I will remind you, this has another effect that says you can target a monster on the field, return it to hand when it's tributed, so, like, it's not just that they summon towers, it's also usually when they summon towers, they get to proc a couple of things, and it pains you. It causes you great pains.
Hold on, sorry, I noticed something, and I'm very confused by it.
What's up, brother? I'll pull up the next card.
Apparently, okay, whatever. Never mind, ignore me. But no, I wanted to say the name because this is where you kind of get the.
Sure.
Oh no, this one is also just. I don't know how they got here. Never mind. But it is. Archive is the Japanese name.
Yeah.
The translation is Shaka. So.
I see how they did it because you got to because so archive in Romaji is Akaibu. And then Shaka is Sakabu, because there's no, like, sound in Japanese.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah.
I don't linguistics.
What does that Qlifoth correspond to, though?
I can't remember. I think this one's like destruction. I think.
Interesting.
I mean, it corresponds to ball. I know that.
Yeah. So, I will pull up our next one then. It's your boy, Cephalopod.
Oh, Lust. Right.
Interesting. Doesn't have any bearing, I think, on that card art. Anyway,
No.
Here we are. This is Qliphort Cephalopod, which in the OCG is Qliphort Access. As you can tell, that's not near as cool enough name for this guy.
Yeah.
No, I love this art.
Yeah, I love the. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great stuff going on here. Obviously,
This art is pulsating. I can say that with confidence.
it's bolts. I love the interplay of the red, silver, and the green, right? Like, that's a good color combo. The fact that they call him Cephalopod and he's like a fucking flying robo-squid, like with that tail of tendrils down there, like, it's really good.
I could see the RPG thing of, like, you're in the desert zone, and then you just see this over the fucking horizon, and then you just kind of stop for a moment. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I remember that guy from Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, that was fun. Also, generally, a lot of these guys have, oh gosh, I don't remember.
Like a kaiju.
Dallas, what was that WoW raid where you fought on the back of the dragon? What was that one called?
Oh, Deathwing?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these Klees have that kind of energy. Like, in order for the normal characters in this story to fight them, they would have to like get up on their back.
That raid was so cool, except for the actual raid part, where you're just hitting a dude in the toenail for like 10 minutes.
But yeah,
cinematically, it was great.
Cephalopod is pretty neat.
No, I love this art.
I don't think there's a lot to say about him otherwise, because he's, you know. Yeah, Final Fantasy weapon energy. Yeah. Actually,
Honestly, I would go Final Fantasy.
Wasn't Ruby Weapon the one that had the tendrils?
I would go Final Fantasy
so.
8. I would go Final Fantasy 8 over 7 personally.
Like I said, well, I think they're comparing to Ruby Weapon, which was the red one that was in the desert, and it did have tentacles. This is
True.
Has very weird tentacle arms.
But just the Klee aesthetic matches. I think it was called Eden. What was the final boss called again? The unrelated final boss, because Final Fantasy. There's always the actual final boss of the story, and then the last boss that they introduce you in the last 10 minutes.
Well, but also, Dallas, then there's like usually a couple of bonus bosses who are harder than all the real bosses, but don't have anything to do with the game.
That's true.
They're just mechanically the hardest.
Yeah, we just made them for challenges. But yeah, no, Cephalopod's pretty cool. Also, once again, lovely background work. Like the fucking heat haze over the sand dunes, and the kind of like the dust blowing up, like this thing is displacing air as it flies past. Oh, it's hella rad. Yep, there's his weird arms. Sorry, Marth posted a picture of Ruby Weapon as he looked in the OG. Oh gosh, they're gonna do. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but they're gonna do weapon fights for a remake. That's gonna be terrifying.
Emerald Weapon is gonna be. How did you even? Yeah, I hated that.
I mean, Diamond Weapon was a literal kaiju. I know that was a story boss, but like this.
It's in Shadow Creators. Looks like that.
No.
Why does it look? Why does it have cow feet?
I
don't like this. Why does it have cow feet?
Because Final Fantasy
I mean, like,
14.
he kind of has some weird. He kind of has some weird feet in the original. It's just I think they were so low poly you couldn't tell. We'll solve that one for later. Let's talk about Kleefort's actual statty stuff. So, Cephalopod specifically. This is a level 7 Earth machine. It is a high scale. It is scale 9. It's 2800 1K. So they kind of ping pong back and forth with the effects. Its pendulum effect is the usual, can't special accept Klees, but also all of your opponent's monsters lose 300 attack. And then you can normal summon. It becomes level 4 and its attack becomes 1800. If it is normal summoned, the level effect, when this card is tribute summoned by tributing a Klee monster, you can activate this effect. If your opponent has more monsters in their graveyard than you do, you gain life points equal to the difference times 300 and inflict the same amount of damage to your opponent. Now, I've never seen Cephalopod pull that effect off.
Me neither.
But you once again see, because ideally if you're playing a pure Klee deck, you don't have any monsters in your graveyard. Maybe towers, if your opponent outed it. Because you're a pendulum deck, they all go to the extra deck. So you can see kind of a lot of, like Dallas said, there's a lot of interesting options for Kleeforts to do weird stuff. Towers Turbo is not the only way to play. Okay. Before I move on to the next art, Dallas, any further comments on the Esoterica?
Yes, no, I actually really like this one because this one is the one this is where I started to clearly see where they were going with it.
Okay.
Because this one is Access in, as you said, in the Japanese.
Yeah.
But it's a romanization of Axerius.
I'm nodding.
Which I can see how they got. Sorry, Hebrew words are
Something else.
sometimes a little bit hard.
Yeah.
It's Axerius.
When I heard that, I just immediately thought of Tales of the Abyss somehow.
I failed to
Well, all
learn.
of these are in Persona 5.
Yeah.
And
so
a
that's
lot
where
of
I
Japanese
read
RPGs
more.
are like this.
Yes, no. Despite it being literally one page in the Kabbalah, once. Japan fucking loves the Qliphoth.
You really do.
Well, it's because the names sound really. It's like White Towers was called Killer. The names probably sound really good in the Japanese phenome, and they're weird and occult.
Yeah.
And generally, Japan has a lot of strong occult vibes. I'm not entirely sure why, but they've got a lot of subculture stuff going on there they really like.
But
Like,
yeah, no,
we've talked about this before. Classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, as done by Kazuki Takahashi, rest in peace, was very occult back in the
But
day.
yeah, no. Akzeriuth means cruelty.
This guy looks like that works for him. He's very
Yeah,
spiny.
no, that fits. It's
And the way he glows red is kind of like angry.
I
It's
just
gonna make a
imagine these
fucking
with the
tripod
fucking.
noise.
Yeah, no, the boing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like an ominous hum as it like goes over your head.
By the way,
Fucking
the
Harvard
2005 War of the Worlds is actually good, pretty good.
It has its
The,
moments.
the first half is pretty good. They kind of lose the story in the back half.
Look, all of the alien stuff in that movie is good. It's just everything related to the fucking kids. I want to strangle them with a fucking.
Honestly, that's a lot of movies.
yes. It's like
It's when they make
I
it
compare
about
War of the
people
Worlds
when
to
it should just be about everything
I'll
happening.
compare War of the Worlds to Signs. All of the alien stuff, A+. All of the non-alien stuff, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the non-alien stuff really ruins Signs because it's just like fucking. Actually, no. The alien stuff ruins Signs. They're allergic to water. Why the fuck did they come to Earth? We're 80% water. Fuck off. Go
Well,
on.
no, that actually does make sense. Well, the problem is, once again, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong is not a very good show director. Because what it says in a deleted scene is, this is a force that has crash landed and is completely 100% out of all supplies. And are trying to take our planet over in a desperate.
Okay, yeah,
bid
that
for
would make
survival.
sense if you could fucking logically talk about
They
that.
just didn't actually put it in the fucking movie. Because
Wow,
I feel
talk
like
about
would
deleted
matter
scenes
a
that
bit.
change everything. Anyway, we've had this guy on screen for a little bit. This is Cleaford Disc, which is actually Disc in the Japanese as well.
Yo,
It's a
Cleveland
fucking
Disco
disc.
Stick! I love this art so much.
It's
It's
pretty.
so derpy.
Yeah, it's very.
I like the.
funky,
I love that
fresh.
very Technicolor.
Yeah.
This is Cleveland Gay Pride Edition. I can't, I'm sorry.
No,
I
it
mean,
makes
he's
you think of
literally
business.
he's a rainbow icon. This is what the
Uh,
Cleaforts changed their avatar to in Pride Month.
Wait, no, I
Oh,
thought
hey,
it's formulating bismuth, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not quite a bismuth.
It has
effect.
bismuth colors because it has like the cracking cobalt and then
I
the
mean,
actual like
that's-
green colors.
It's a rainbow
Alright.
effect, so yeah, but
I
also
like
no, it's not
this.
quite because like
Also like
it
this
has
color.
several colors.
Also,
Bismuth's really good.
it's
Bismuth.
radiates radiates the proto dual disc that Kyron made in Duelist Kingdom.
Oh yeah, it does kind of have that same
Yeah.
shape. And then he's just got like 3 little laser beam horns. Pew, pew, pew. I mean,
Yeah, no,
this guy is technically
this art
probably
is
pretty
hilarious.
massive. It's hard to tell. I feel like this one's too large scale because it's got like the sweeping islands and the curvature of the Earth. But we could just be really high up and he could be tiny. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's it's like Dallas said. It's a little derpy, like especially because allow me to.
But I'll say this, it's derpy in a good way. To me.
It's kind of
It
cute,
is.
but like, look, he's got a little face eye down there.
Yeah.
Meh. I'm disco.
No, this is what happens when insert generic robot protagonist. This is basically Guilty Spark. This is why you don't fuck with Guilty Spark. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Blanking.
Halo.
343
Halo
Guilty
1.
Spark. Monitor of this installation.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck you over later.
Right.
I am secretly the villain because I'm British.
Man, I can't wait for Bindalore to like finish the whole thing with. What's the
There's a
name?
lot
Like,
there.
Millennium.
Yeah, people are gonna lose their minds about Marathon.
Because he's like skipping over a thing. It's supposedly about a moon being a black hole or something. I don't know what the fuck that was on about.
it was something to do with the sun. You'll see when he gets to the 3rd Marathon game.
I
that
assume
one's
he's gonna go
pretty
back. I
weird.
assume he's gonna go back and explain all of it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to go into that too, but you should look up Mandalore Gaming's series he's doing on old Bungie games, Pathways to Darkness and Marathon.
I
'Cause
watched
they're
all of
rad.
them. so
Also,
I think-
Marathon is cool. I'm telling the audience at home, Max. There's 16
right
of them.
back.
Wow, there's quite a lot of you.
Right back.
Hey, I should remind me to say that obviously you can super chat now, but YouTube also sent me like an email to remind people that super thanks exists. You can basically tip us in comments with a super thanks. So like, yeah, do that. Lucky's birthday is coming up, so I'm sure your tips and stuff would be appreciated. I am gonna run up around and get him a present, so I would not mind seeing the revenue numbers go up a little. But that's okay. I'm gonna stream more throughout the week. But Disc is Disc. What more can we say about him?
The disco stick.
Now, interestingly enough, this guy has the same stat line as Cephalopod. He's a level 7, 2800 attacker. Again, I feel like the artist lost the sense of scale a little bit with this one.
I think this is the more important one, honestly, than Cephalopod, but you still play both.
Yeah, you still play both. I mean, it's got the effect that what's his face Carrier does. It's a 300 attack on
There
Pendulum.
aren't enough cleats where you can choose to skip out of most of them. It's just there's some you just run it one of or
Yeah.
two ofs.
Well, yeah, it's the kind of thing where there's not. Again, as Dallas said, Clees were good for like a couple of years off and on. It's one of those archetypes that like Konami has barely supported because of reasons. They're good.
Yeah.
I didn't even like. I gotta be honest. I don't know what you would do to make Cleese like relevant again. Other than what the
More
TCG.
floodgates.
Yeah, I'm gonna say other than what the TCG did by unlimiting skill drain.
I guess I don't know, giving them like something a bit different, like giving something that lets them affect links.
Because one of their starting trap cards, Clipper Launch, actually lets you take 3 from that are in your extra deck and put them back in your hand. So they already have the like work around Master Rule 4 play.
I'll say this: the problem I've had,
And yes, it's my time to be a boomer again, but
Go for it.
a problem I've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just it's so hard to bring relevancy to old archetypes without breaking them because of just how power creep has gone. Like,
Yeah,
I can't
think
even think of the last time a new archetype has been relevant, or an old archetype, I should say.
I mean, I think they do stuff, and I'm talking about Master Duel in context, the way, because that game is so swingy weird, like, I have legitimately seen people playing Armed Dragon Flash. Like, some of it's because you can turn that into Tomahawk, but you don't have to actually turn it into Tomahawk just to punch face. Also, by the way, why the fuck is Galaxy, again, OCG, what's wrong with you? Why is Tomahawk legal?
I don't
Dumb.
know. That one I don't know. I get their reasoning with how they've done their ratios for Supreme Dragon Poison,
Yeah.
Starving Venom.
Same with, like, why like, NGAG is allowed at more than one copy. It's because you can
Yeah.
only have one of,
Yeah, no, Galaxy Tomahawk though is the one that I'm just like.
well, it's like VFD,
okay, you
right?
lose me here.
Like, literally, the OCG in real life left VFD at 1 because they were like, we understand VFD is annoying, but some people still like to play him, so we're going to leave him at
But
1,
also,
and then they
here's the
banned him at
difference,
next
though,
phase.
Omega. I believe Galaxy Tomahawk's at 3.
Yes, I believe Tomahawk is completely unlimited in Master Duel. It's very weird. I don't get what they're going for. Maybe somebody can tell me. Anyway, we were in the middle of discs, effects, and stuff. Let's see. Can normal summon without tributing. Becomes level 4 and becomes 1800. If it is normal summon unaffected, when tribute summon with a clean monster, you can special summon 2 Clees from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase. So this lets you get, if tribute summoned, this lets you get a guy out. But as we've discussed, you don't really need to do that. Like, it lets you put 2 guys in rotation. But it's, I think generally you do not go the disc strategy because if you're going to tribute summon one of these guys anyway, you probably want to just when you pendulum summon the 2 guys to tribute summon this, you just pendulum summon him also and just make towers, ideally. But again, they have a lot of flexibility. They've got a lot of options. That's always kind of the sad thing about a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Have flexible plays. I've even, like, talking about this, like, I've gotten over being upset at Eldritch as a concept. I just hate the way people play Eldritch in Master Duel because actual Eldritch decks are, like, freaky flexible. There's so many different weird variants you can do with Eldritch. By the way, speaking of freaky flexible weird stuff.
Yeah, disc is good.
Well, yeah, disc is good. But Helix.
Oh wait, no, I gotta do the stuff.
Well, yeah, go for it. Sorry, but I wanted to segue because I looked at Helix.
No, that's fair.
Look at him. Look at this man. But about disc.
Yeah, disc is Adisak, or Adisak, however you want to say it, which means apathy.
That kind of works, but not for the reason I think they wanted it to work. He's just a disc.
Alright, this one.
And it's a little weird, but I think what they're going for in the Japanese is it's got to have like just one single syllable in common, because the way they romanize the klipa is adi shesu, which is not quite in the right ballpark, but close enough. And then disku is disku, so it's like they both have the diz syllable in there. It's interesting. But this is Helix. He's weird. I love him.
Yeah, Helix is great.
Yeah.
Art-wise, rather. I mean, he's kind of bad, not artwork.
Yeah.
Not art-wise.
No, but
art-wise is great.
Yeah, art-wise, this guy's called Genome in the original OCG. Either way works, because, yeah, he's a fucking double helix, literally. He's a fucking flying DNA strand, and it's great because that's so weird. Also, once again, fucking baller background. This, like, crack in the earth and the rainforest and, like, the river dripping down on the rainbow. Like, goddamn.
I almost kind of wonder if the crack is because it came out of the earth.
I assume so because, like, there's just the one, like, panel under the tree, and that's where Scout comes from. But even that isn't big enough to, like, hold all of these guys, so I assume they were, like, hiding under the earth until they were activated.
Yeah, they were, like, as stations, like, to cover the entire planet. That's what...
No, Helix's art is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, majestically soft terror. If that makes any sense.
Well, like, you know what this reminds me of?
This
reminds me of Warhammer 40k.
It does have the
Yes.
kind of scaling.
This is the last thing a planet sees before Exterminatus happens.
Or this is a weird.
I mean,
ship.
honestly, with, like, the sweeping bows, this gives me Eldar vibes.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, this feels like an Eldar destroyer of sorts.
But I more meant the like feeling of like a primitive planet.
Yeah, you're just minding your own
Relatively,
business, and then there's
it's
this
just
weird
Like
spiral.
a giant death ship.
Yeah.
With solid energy arcing through it. Yeah.
This is in fact Typhon Primaris.
He's a big boy. Anything else we want to say about Helix's physical appearance?
I like the energy effect on it. It's just kind of like, it's not like overblown, it's just kind of there.
Yeah, his
I mean, it
skeleton.
does what it says on the tin.
Okay, in that case then, Cleaford Helix, another Earth machine. Monstro. Level 6, scale 9, so back to high scale. This is 24-1. This is all monsters your opponent controls is 300, plus the normal effects on pendulum. Monster effects are the normal, and I do believe it is all of them become level 4 and 1800 attack. Original attack, by the way, actually, which does matter. I don't know if I've specified that before. And then the normal unaffected effect. If this card is tributed, target a spell trap, destroy it. So, honestly, I don't think Helix is the spiciest, like Dallas said, but that's still a good solid effect. Like, you don't really need that if you're summoning, like, Towers, because Towers doesn't give a fuck about spell traps anyway, but...
No. Also, yeah.
Good.
It's just his effect is a little bit awkward for like all of the there's like I said, Cleese have multiple play styles. Like there's Xyz Cleese build that focuses on spamming out rank 4s. There's other build, but this one doesn't fit like in any of them.
Yeah, it's just an additional pop effect, which isn't necessary sometimes.
You know.
Okay. And then...
Ironically enough, though, this actually has possibly the most used part of the Cleapoth.
Yeah.
Just because of how esoterically is important to the theology of Judaism as a whole. Because this is Chemda.
Yeah, we brought that up earlier.
I've heard that before.
Chemda is the word for want. usually used as a pejorative.
Yeah, desire.
Not desire in a positive sense.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
another
very-
word
yeah.
that I'm remembering.
Honestly, using the word want fits better than desire. 'cause
Yeah,
everything's
no,
negative
it-
things.
well, yeah,
Want
Well,
is
I'm
considered
I'm
pejorative.
saying this to some of like some of our people may understand the concept of like desire, like in a Buddhist
Yeah.
sense, for instance.
No, this is
You're-
very much
you're
like if
wanting
you've ever played.
things.
Yeah, if you've ever played Dark Souls 2, which I would recommend because I love that game. The entire theme of that is how bad want is.
Not anytime
And
soon,
desire
but
is.
There's also a
Souls-
very big thing
Demon
about how
Souls
size
is
equals
free
power.
on PS Plus for me. I should go back and try that actually, the remake, the remaster.
I think you'd have fun with it. Like, there's only one boss I consider. Very
I
frustrating
played it a
in
long
that
time
game.
ago and it was a little frustrating, but that's because I played it in the like PS3 era.
I
That's
will say Dark Souls 2's thing is like you don't actually want to use a shield, just do build a weapon. It's
Well,
actually
we're
better
talking
to
about
be
Demon
aggressive in
Souls.
that
I
game.
don't
Uh,
know when there's an accessible way.
Actually, also, you're wrong. You can literally play anyway. I've beaten Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1 in like 15 different ways. You don't have
Oh,
to pick.
okay.
But
I've just seen like people make so many arguments about how to.
people
Yeah,
make a
and
lot of
people on the
arguments about
internet-
Dark Souls games.
People on the internet are stupid.
I have seen people be
You need
like,
to remember
Dark Souls
this.
is literally Dark Souls 2 is literally the worst Dark Souls ever. It's trash. It should never be considered canon. And then I have people going,
And they're
Dark Souls
wrong.
2 is the best Dark Souls, actually.
Yeah,
like-
no, and that's my opinion.
Keyboard
And
warriors.
I have a
I'll
disagree-
say that.
I
Yeah,
don't
Keyboard
like
Warriors
some of the
is good.
choices that they did mechanically with Dark Souls 2, but that's fair.
Okay, mechanically, I can probably see.
I don't like how the
Narr-
healing's handled in that game.
Narratively and boss design wise, it's my
Hold up
favorite
the
game.
next Klee. It is
Oh,
Shell.
is a conch.
Yeah. He's a literal shell.
Yeah,
This
is just
much
a
like
magic
like
box.
Disc, this has the same name in Japanese as well. It's just Klee for Shell. He is a space conch.
Yes, ultimate. Yeah, it just says. Oh yeah, can. No one can even hit it because it's just like shield.
Yes, a very Evangelion ass shield.
Yeah, this is the you just shell.
It's pretty normal, yeah. I mean, once again, background great. This one's got like a Rocky Mesa effect. I don't know
Oh, that's
who's
funny.
shooting
That's
lasers
very
at him
funny.
in this context.
Sorry, I'll get to it later, but there's something very funny about this name,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and this art together.
But I don't know if there's a lot else to say about the art. Like, I like the special effects, but that's all he's really got going for him. He is otherwise, as we
Like,
said, just a flying
It's
shell.
very cool for this like esoteric space stuff,
Yeah.
But that's it. It's cool.
Yeah,
I
once we
can't
just
really say
acknowledge
much more
he is
than
a flying shell. That's neat. There's not much else to go there. That is... I mean, that reminds me of some advice from the Delta Green Keeper's Guide about how to describe, like, unspeakable eldritch horrors is to do deliberate, opposites. A flying seashell is actually, like, pretty weird. It's like, you know, like a shining darkness or stuff like that. Yes, that's the kind of thing that makes the brain go, what? But
Oh.
there's not much else to discuss here.
Yeah, this is actually a sea slug shell.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mm.
Gastropods.
Yeah, it's a conical shell. It's not a conch, technically.
Yeah, they're very similar. And actually, I don't know what the technical the etymology of the word conch comes from. You are correct, though. It doesn't have quite the same. It is more conically.
Yeah.
That just is even funnier because, in case you guys didn't know, cone shells are fucking deadly. They're terrifying.
Oh yeah, cone shell snails are fucking evil. Well, they're not evil, but
Dude, they're neurotoxins
Not
are
that
fucking
shit.
evil. They are bad news bears.
they are a deadly neurotoxin, literally.
But Shell's stat line and stuff, this is a level 8, scale 9, 2800 attack, 1k defense. Again, you guys can see the patterns. Its pendulum effect is your opponent's monsters lose 300. This is kind of interesting. Axe talked about how you just play some of them for names, but you can use a lot of them interchangeably. It really does feel like that with their pendulum effects and scales. Like, a lot of the Klees are like interchangeable parts. You don't necessarily need any specific one at any given time. You just need some number of Klees to do the thing. But yeah, it has all the normal Klee effects, and then its effect is if this is normal summoned by tributing a Klee monster, you can make a second attack during each battle phase, and if it attacks your opponent, a defense position monster, it does piercing damage. That's okay. That's decent. That's a way to close games, double attack with piercing.
Yeah. No, I think this was like played at like one of ish sometimes.
Because depending on what your opponent does as a deck, like, yes, Towers may be unaffected, but Towers is still only one attack per turn and only a 3k guy, so it's possible your opponent could just stall you out. So
Or beat over it.
yeah, or beat over it. Shell actually has the ability to close games because remember your opponent monsters, lose attacks, so it gets 2 attacks. They might be small, and you can do piercing. So, though funnily enough, Clees do not modulate defense.
I think this one is so far the most, like, 1-to-1 translation, to me at least.
Yeah.
It's Sheriuth. Which means stubbornness and obstinacy, which makes the art funny to me.
Yeah. Because he's just tanking, he's turtling.
Yeah.
Alright.
Which is a little bit weird with the effect, but whatever.
Yeah, and with the stat spread, but, we don't always line up the card arts 1-to-1 with the effects and stuff. Like, technically, if you were
Yeah.
going to do that, then probably Carrier or Archive should have been the, like, summon 2 from deck 1, stuff like that. The artist was not necessarily bound by this stuff. Now, before we move into, like, the other couple of clean monsters, there is one spell trap art we mentioned that I do want to explicitly show. From this block,
Oh.
anyway. Because it is important. No, we already showed launch. I want to show Sacrifice.
Oh, Sacrifice.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the cool ones. That's one I want to
Yeah.
bring up actually later.
So, this was in their first batch of support. So, as you can see, this is, I believe, explicitly Grista dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grista
yeah.
slash Cairngorn, etc. And, all of those shiny Pyroxenes are floating out of him. I wonder where they're going.
Of course. They activated the technically bomb.
Yeah, so they're flying back to the tower, and slash the tree effect. So that's where the Pyroxenes went. Sacrifice is also actually a good card in Cleese.
It is really important, actually.
Oh, yeah, no. It's
Keep running
half the
with it.
reason the deck was so good.
Yes. You can only equip it to a clean. It's an equip spell. You can only equip it to a clean monster. That's the part, by the way, with this card art and effect is like really weird. Why is it an equip spell? And I guess you're equipping the Pyroxenes? I don't know.
Well, it's because it kind of how it works. You need to have a target for it.
Yeah. I mean, you could make it a continuous like that, but yeah. Equivalent to a clean monster, it gains 300 attack and can't be destroyed by battle. The equipped monsters can be treated as 2 tributes for the summon of a clean monster. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add a clean monster from your deck to your hand. So, yeah, Sacrifice is just a really troublesome card. It gives you 300 attack. It makes you immune to battle destruction. Thank God you can't put this on towers.
Like, here's the thing. Despite what Cleese, like, despite Towers'
Yeah.
synonymousness with Cleese, Towers was never the reason Cleese was good.
Well, yeah,
Cleese-
no.
like,
You
just say Cleese were
a lot
good.
of stuff you go on there. And
No,
honestly, like,
it's
we talked about how stupid Towers is. Most of the Klee deck is fairly well balanced around Towers. Like I said, you can't apply Sacrifice to Towers. It doesn't work like that.
No, the main thing that made Cleese so relevant, at least in my eyes, is they are peak efficiency at consistency.
Yeah.
Like, it is very hard to brick in a Clee deck.
And this is why Marth brought this up earlier. This is why they eventually limited Scout, because
Yeah,
Scout is a very vital part of that consistency.
no,
I
The
believe,
reason-
we talked about it earlier, I believe Scout says he searches a Klee card.
Yeah, any Klee card
Yeah.
for 800 points.
which includes Sacrifice.
Yes, because the names are weird.
And Recreate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another name that I don't know what the fuck we're going for. Recreate? Is it like
I thought that
Reclamate?
was Retaliate.
Is it Retaliate? I don't know. That's,
Because it's a negate.
yeah. There's some weird stuff. But yeah, Sacrifice
Or
is very important
Recreate,
because
maybe?
it's sent from the field to the graveyard, so, I don't know, if you tribute the monster it's equipped to, you get a search. So, like, you get to keep your card advantage up. It's very solid. No, I did this. Actually, no. This makes sense. I was
don't
looking at my
know
notes and I'm
this.
like, that's weird. But no, I got it. I understand what I was doing 20 minutes ago or whatever. How long have you been streaming? Hour 20.
An
Okay.
hour.
Our
Yeah, I understand what I was doing. So Klee's got some extra support in the very next set. Secrets of Eternity.
Secrets of Eternity.
Also, y'all will probably recognize this one, because he's a mate in Master Duel. It's time for their other normal, Kleefort Monolith.
The rock.
Daisy, Daisy.
As you guys have
It's a
yelled at
big
me
rock.
defensively.
Yeah. But this is a machine.
Sorry, this is just a 2001
I mean,
Space
yeah, no.
Odyssey.
I mean,
I
it also
remember
looks
saying
like.
that originally.
Yeah, you did say that before. That's okay. I will say the Monolith name is kind of funny. We talked about this before. Monolith literally means one rock, as in like one big
yeah,
rock.
It's big rock.
This is a machine. But that's a TCG thing. Its original name in Japanese is Cleafort Assembler.
No.
I
And this is
that-
called
okay, that's
Monolith
interesting.
because of 2001.
Oh, absolutely. What I was gonna say was, this looks like a rad fucking phone case.
No, that's
Honestly,
If
I
you
would,
want some
I would
merch-
like to have a Cleek phone case. That or like an Allegan Poetics, but that's it.
Like
You can get that
I
Netflix.
think this is considering they picked this one as the Mate and Master Duel, that works pretty well. Just give yourself a little floaty rectangle. That's pretty cool. But absolutely, Konami, you could make easy money selling these as phone cases. Consider that in your next merch drip.
Like, there's so much merch you could just make out of your archetype designs.
I mean, most of it is just the production value, but I think phone cases are pretty easy to do. You just have to like print it in a pattern.
But yeah, no, this is just the 2001 A Space Odyssey scene.
Yep.
Like, that's all I can say
He's a big boy.
about this.
And I mean, there's not much else to say. It's a very big rock because we can see the trees he's next to, which are tiny, which is great. Great scaling, you know. But otherwise, there's not a lot going on. He is a giant glowy rectangle with Tron lines. There's not anything else to say about that, really. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. Do you guys?
Not really.
No.
Okay, Monolith
colors
is
are cool, but
he's
that's
your
about
other
it.
level 5 machine. This is your 1 scale, so he's your low scale to go with Scout's high scale. 2400 attack, 1000 defense. Yes, by the way, this does mean the way they did the stat spread. Scout is the one with big booty. Monolith is the one with big attack. It's very funny.
It does an eye laser.
Yeah, probably. I mean, please shoot a lot of lasers. I may pull up the art for laser clip at some point just to show you guys what the fuck we're dealing with. But yeah, so Monolith is the other half of your consistency engine in your pen scale. Its effect is once per turn during the end phase, if you tribute summon this turn, draw cards equal to the number of Clees you tributed for tribute summons this turn. So basically, if you tribute 2 or 3, at the end phase, you will draw 2 or 3. And obviously, you can possibly even be drawing 1 off of this with certain cards. But yeah, it's just, you know, Scout gets you started, Monolith reloads your hand after you're done. Very solid. Yes, hello, Blue Expo. I'm gonna look at the trivia for this because this has some weird shit in the flavor text. I need to figure out what we're going for here. Oh, it's an error. It is an error dump that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Oh no, it's in a cipher. Okay, all right. So I will read you the deciphered version of its normal effect text. So
Oh,
its
cool.
flavor text is unhandled exception at 0x1i-666 in cleafort.exe : access violation writing location 0x00-000. Continue ignoring this error, YN, and then the command line isn't filled out. And then there's a Garbo error dump code dump, which has to do with the effect. So deciphered, that reads: contact with the sacred tree is forbidden. The scourge has been unleashed. In Japanese, this is a reference to a literal line in the Bible. It's from Genesis, I believe it says. Let's see.
It feels like a bit trying too hard there.
Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil, and now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Which, like, it's that's like Ax said, that's a little try hard.
It's very theology soup as well.
Yes, it's very try hard and it's not very perfect in context, but it was in Japanese.
I will say, like,
Especially
the TCG version feels about like fitting.
Especially considering the Klee are not the Tree of Life. That
Yes.
is literally the other
No,
one.
they're the
Well,
defense
they're
system
talking
of
about
Tree
the
of Life.
sacred tree that's on top of, because the Clees are the thing on the opposite of the actual sacred tree, which is the Zephyr sacred tree. But still, they're just
Yeah.
Monolith
no,
is
no,
basically
that-
reminding you of the thing we talked about earlier, which Monolith's error text is basically saying, "Hey, Winda, don't you touch that fucking tree." That's all it is Monolith is giving should also a warning to get off their lawn, with some funny error
Off
codes.
my lawn.
So Monolith is neat. Now, you may think that Towers was the only Apocryphort monster. You would be wrong. As I go grab that guy up. Dallas, anything to say
Cool.
about the esoterica of Monolith as I
geez.
dig up the card art?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Because,
Alright.
as you said, in Japanese, this is assembler.
Yes. Which,
Easy assembly
by
line.
the way, in Romaji is pronounced
Yeah.
Asenbura.
So the Hebrew word this is based off of is Eyatisvet. Eyatisvet,
Mm-hmm.
which means without stability.
Okay. That's very funny.
Roughly translating to insanity.
All right. I can see kind of why we had this problem. I'm sensing there's a little bit of a BV flip.
Yeah, and the CHK flip.
Yes, because the Romaji for this is written Aya Tsubusu, because they think it's a B sound. So I get what they're going for, the
Yeah,
B
no.
sound, but it's
Well,
it's not quite.
To be fair, the word they have for there is the. I understand why Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki didn't go full hog on this.
Yeah.
That's not actually even the Hebrew name. That's the Anglicization of the Hebrew name.
Yeah, no, that makes
The
sense.
actual Hebrew name is spelled EE-YATSIVUT.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff.
Because, yeah.
But, okay, let us.
Romanization
pull
of
up.
Hebrew is hard.
This is Apocryphort Sky Base. In Japanese, its name was
All your base. All your base.
Apocryphort Kernel, which is thematic, but also way less cool than Skybase.
Yeah.
Because also it's a fucking, I mean, look at it, it's a Skybase.
Yeah.
No, I also like this one. This is once again a fucking Gradius boss type thing. Alternatively, this is the final level of Final Fantasy XII.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, this is the end of Final Fantasy. A Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, no, it's a big floating sky city, and I love it, because I love those. Yes, I did watch Castle in the Sky a lot as a kid. It was
That
pretty
is
good.
the best Ghibli movie, in my opinion.
I mean, personally, I do prefer Princess Mononoke, but they're both really
That's
good.
fair. That's
They're
fair.
both really
I
good.
can't really blame you for that.
But yeah, so,
I just
Skybase.
base.
Yeah.
Base knowledge.
That-
There's a lot of it was 2014. There were some memes that were ancient by then, but some of this stuff I don't think they would have picked up on. But
I
it's
just like
Skybase.
I just like the scale design of this thing.
Yeah, he's big.
It also would be a
Yeah.
cool, I think it's also like a cool penultimate boss stage.
Yeah, it does kind of look like it could turn into something else, right?
Or like you fight, or like the fights in the center of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah. This could be
Like,
like
it's just
the
the
ending of
arena.
Kingdom Hearts 2. Like there's because I think this tower bit kind of looks like a giant chair. So like you would fight your way to the top of the tower, and then you would actually go inside and punch like a human-sized guy. Though luckily,
Yeah.
Please don't really have a human-sized guy. Funnily enough, they actually like avoid making it a dude.
No,
at any
you probably
point.
just fight the central computer unit or something.
It was a very weird fight in Kingdom Hearts 2, fighting the Master Control Program. Anyway, Apocryphort Skybase is a level 9 machine. I don't know why they decided to
Also-
make him 9, because he
Oh
can't
my
be
god,
stuffed
that
anyway.
is technically incorrect. There is a human-sized Klee.
Okay, yeah, there is, but we don't...
I've purged that from my memory.
Why?
I just don't remember. I have to be more specific
Okay.
about it.
We'll get to it.
We'll
don't
talk
worry.
about it later. Yeah. So this is a level 9 machine, 2,900 attack, 2,500 defense. Can't be special. Requires 3 tributes to set, normal summon or set. If his card is normal summon or set, it's unaffected by spell traps or any monster effects. Blah blah blah. Once per turn, target one monster opponent controls take control of it to the end phase. So, Skybase is basically towers but smaller. I wonder if maybe somebody was like, after they printed towers, was thinking like it would get banned, which I don't think it ever was, unless it wasn't the OCG.
Unless they wanted to double up on it.
wasn't Banjo CG.
Yeah, so I don't really get why Skybase exists, because he is just Towers Light. I guess it just gives you 3 more towers you can run. Because, like, he's got 100 less attack, he's 1 level lower. His effect isn't as spicy, it's just, you know, Big Eye one of your, Chin Your Heart one of your opponent's monsters. Obviously, that can be a game winner, but it's still not crazy good. But, you know, it's got the towers effect part. It's unaffected, so still decent.
Yeah.
All right. Dallas, hit us with the knowledge.
Okay, so this one's hard to kind of parse. I don't really know. I think it'd be Bakikal? Bakikal?
Yeah.
Like Bakikal? I'm not that familiar with this one. Hold on, let me see if I can.
The Romaji is Bachikaru. But again, I don't actually. They may have made up the cha.
No, it would be Kikal.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of ch sounds in Hebrew, or like any. It's either ch or k. Not a lot of ch. I'm just trying to translate it, but I keep getting fucking bicycle, which is not what this is. I'll get back to it. Hello?
Yeah. Well.
Did I get disconnected?
No, we're here. We were waiting on you. If you got nothing.
Oh, I should just continue.
Okay.
I'm looking for it, but
All right, he'll keep.
I know this one corresponds with Satan, but I don't know where it is.
So, all right. Again, the comparison there is in the OCG name. Its name is Colonel Kaneru Bachikaru. You get it? But yeah, we will move on to our last one for a while. It's several years before we get another Klee boy. In the TCG, Kleefort Stealth. Duh. Which is, it was Kleefort Alias in there so that they could kind of make the pun effect. Though it's a really bad, like, I can't wait for Dallas to tell me about this one because I'm looking at like the comparisons. I'm just like,
Oh, we'll get to it.
for stealth. I'm just like, huh? There's not a hell of a lot to say about stealth because he's stealthy.
Yeah, except his sigil, but I guess it can't be stealthed.
Yeah, I mean the branding. It is a giant glowing rock he's got. Yeah, but it's Wonder Woman's invisible plane. I mean, I like the details we can see, and the translucent stuff is kind of interesting. But it's also invisible, so there's not a lot to say about it. I will say this is an interesting design. It reminds me of certain, usually enemy-only starfighters in some Star Wars games, like Starfighter and Jedi Starfighter, where it's just got like some extra greebles and pointy bits. But yeah, it's a thing. The mountains are cool.
Okay, so I figured it out.
All right.
I figured out why I'm having such a problem with Bakiko. As far as I can tell, this is just a made-up bullshit. This is not real.
Interesting.
This is not part of the... I realize it's not part of the Kleepoth as far as I can tell. Right? Hold on.
Yeah, it's Pyroxene is number 2.
I keep getting Kleepoth.
Pyroxene number 1, the white one, Skybase, that correlates with Primaris. or Pyrmice. That's the Infernoid.
Maybe I can look it up in backtracing through the Zephyra.
Might work. Because Colonel and etc. corresponds to Zephyra Saber. Yes, because all the... By the way, there's like 3 layers of comparison here. Every Cleafort corresponds to a color of the Pyroxenes. Skybase is white, for instance. Stealth is gray. Shell was black. Disc was blue. Cephalopod was red. Scout was yellow. Carrier was green. Helix was orange. Monolith was purple. Towers is the rainbow one. They correspond to an Infernoid because the Infernoids are all named after classical Judeo-Christian demons. They are not translated that way in English for obvious reasons. But they also correspond to one of the Zephyrs because the Zephyrs are tied to the Sephiroth. It all just goes and goes and goes and loops. Stealth is honestly not that weird. I kind of don't know why he exists, other than I guess we needed a 10th one. This probably is another reason why they haven't come out with more, is because they have a very strict theming for how many there would be with all the colors, so... but it's a level 8 Earth Pendulum Machine. It is the low scale. It's 2000 attack. It gives you your Cleese 300 attack. You can do all the normal summon stuff we talked about. And then when this card is tribute summoned by tributing a Klee monster, you can target one card on the field, return it to the hand. Your opponent cannot respond to this activation. So it is a compulse but better. So decent, but also just kind of a guy. The fact that it is a unrespondable bounce is pretty solid.
Yeah, no, it looks really like the Wonder Woman Invisible Plane, and I can't get that out of my head.
No, I think I said that earlier.
Yeah. No, it's just kind of.
I'm noticing Axe has nothing to contribute to this whatsoever.
I really kind of don't. Besides, I think it's like, I guess when you like those breakup blueprints, if you look at like the inside of like the right bit on the.
Yeah, it's got some weird internal lines.
I could see, I guess, a conversion of like some droid ship to Mega Klee model. The way it's shaped.
Yeah.
Kind of it.
Sorry, handling something in Discord. Okay.
Just knows it has speed lines.
Oh, what's up in Discord?
I'm just reminding people of something. Yes, it does have speed lines, probably. I'm letting people know that in case you guys didn't get this announcement, because we get all the announcements about Discord news in the mod channel, very largely and loudly. There are text chats in VC.
Oh, cool. I don't know when I use that,
but it's a feature that exists. Anyway, but yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about Stealth as he is. So Dallas, I need you to explain this one to me.
What, you can't get Stealth from Iwaleth?
Well, no, because it's not Stealth, it's Alias, but that's Irasu.
Alias and Iwaleth, I can...
The way it's romanized in Japanese is just Eiri. I don't know. I guess it's because of the LR flip, but like, damn, that's just... the Japanese language is just not prepared for like any of those fucking
No,
films.
Hebrew and Japanese crossover like does not exist. Like
That's
it
that's
just
that's
doesn't-
weird.
Doesn't work.
So I see why it's idiot suit, but like, it's damn.
It's even funnier when you know what Iwaleth means.
What does it mean?
Yeah, it means stupid. This is the path of stupidity.
He is just kind of a big dumb doopus. Again, like I said, I think it's neat that it has a like it's a compulse effect that can't be responded to, but I also don't really know. Do you require such an interaction in Klee? Again, they have options, but they're not necessary a lot of the time.
No. Okay, so going back to Bakikel, because this is driving me insane.
Yes, I noticed.
As far as I can tell, it is a word that was just kind of put upon, because basically none of these words are like literal. These aren't the Qliphoth.
Yeah.
Iwaleth, Chemna, those are what they're about. The evil forces are Thumael, Samael, Khadagel, Tegaron, Lilith, Gemael,
Yeah, the
Golachab,
names that are more associated with the
Yeah.
demons.
So it just appears because I mean Bakel is Thumael, which is just the ruler. It's
Yeah.
the boss. So they just kind of just didn't have one.
Just kind of said some stuff.
There's not really an association with like it would just generically be evil.
Sinister
I guess they just
stuff.
didn't want to do that.
Well, you know, it's because we needed all the themes. We did all them colors and stuff. But okay, so that's literally all the Klee monsters that exist for a long time. Though I did want to bring up the card art for this next card, because this is technically a trap card, but it's one of those trap cards. This is Clife's End, or possibly Cleef's End. I know they want to do the bad puns, but the name in the OCG is so much better. It's Cleefort Down, which itself is hilarious.
That's funny. I enjoy that.
Yeah. So, Clife's End is a trap card that special summons a token that is not treated as a trap card, by the way. It's one of those. Summon this card as an effect monster. It's a machine with level 4 with 1800 attack, 1000 defense. Not treated as a trap card, so it doesn't use your back slot. During the turn this card was summoned this way, Klee spell traps can't be destroyed by card effects, so that would protect your scales as well. And if summoned this way, it counts as 3 tributes for an Apocryphort monster, so this is yet another way to turbo Towers or Skybase. It was a rare in Invasion Vengeance. But I wanted to bring this up because, like I said, technically this is a Klee monster. It is a trap that becomes a monster. And also, art-wise, this is something very interesting. I'm fairly certain this is all of the Klee stuff ejecting from Tierra after the Infernoids have stopped being a problem. Or possibly Deviati? Actually, no. Is Onoku the big one? The biggest one? Yeah, but he doesn't look like that. It's probably Tierra or Deviati. Yeah, Deviati's the sneaky boy. But you'll notice it has, like, the rainbow globe, a bunch of different stuff. And it's not quite the rainbow Pyroxene, but it is multicolored, so I think we're just ejecting stuff. Or it could be a limb of Towers. Is it Towers Down? That might be Cleefort Down. I think that doesn't happen until the Infernoids get going, because obviously, as we brought up with Shadal, Towers gets tied to Construct for Apkul, not Apkul, and Shekanaga. But even though we talked about this on that episode, that doesn't make any goddamn sense because you cannot super poly Towers, which is dumb, by the way. But yeah, so this is technically an extra Klee monster and kind of shows you that there's some stuff going on. And that will actually dovetail us into our last card officially on my list for today. Because I mentioned it before, Klee's got a Link monster. You know, because they're a pendulum deck.
Whenever I was talking about human-sized Klees,
yeah, yeah, kind of, sorta. This is Cleefort Genius, which is very strongly related to Nail Shadal Genius, which is just this but more Shadali. Because yeah, just this is a dead Klee and some juju comes out.
I want to say this is the representation of the intelligence behind the Klee, hence genius.
Well, no, that's not actually what they're going for there. It is allegedly anyway, and it makes sense in reference to the Latin phrase genii, or genius in mythology. But that is, in Latin, that is the divine spirit that is present in an individual person, place, or thing. So the genii, the genius, is your... It's kind of like the classical Roman equivalent of a guardian angel. It's a spirit that kind of follows you around or is located in a place. So, yeah, I mean, it's still kind of probably the intelligence or the divineness or whatever of the Klees, because it is the genius, it is the spirit of the Klee, but it is not literally genius in that sense we mean it.
I don't remember if the thing that comes out of it comes back later.
I mean, I do believe some of the World Legacy Link monster that I think Varen is talking about, that it's not actually Avita, but it goes into Avita. I think it is anyway. Let me double check Avita Rebuilder of Worlds. Yeah, Avita is the main deck. There's a Link. I think it even uses the phrase like Demiurge or whatever. The Link that builds up to that looks a lot like this. I don't know what the fuck he's called though. Hold on. The when we get to them, the World Legacy cards are also like very much in this, esoteric Kabbalistic vein with other extra bullshit. Like literally World Chalice, as in, the chalice, the grail. There's a lance, like that lance. There's a crown, like the crown of thorns. Get it? There's an arc.
Well, as far as I know, I'm not going to have to do any more translation of my things, because I think those are all just English.
Oh, Cleef's End? Yeah, I don't know if that's meant to necessarily dovetail the same way. Like, Genius, there's definitely something that has the Klee sigil in World Legacy. That and the fact that Avita's name is, like, a reference to the Star God phrase that is used for Sophia and Tierra is, like, a strong hint that the World Legacy world is just another reset of the dual terminal world.
And who knows, maybe with the new, I don't know, fucking Bumber Snatch, I don't know what the new one is
The
called.
Abyss? I
Yeah,
think the
maybe
world
that's
setting
just
for
a
not Alistair. Oh God, I can't even remember his dumb fucking name.
I can only remember his
Albaz.
fake name.
No, you're thinking
Aluber
of
the Boober of Doober.
Yeah, no. Aluber is Albaz's brother, but yes, Aluber the Boober of Doober. That's
or his other half, depending how it
something.
goes.
We don't know actually. We're not finished.
Depending if it's like the Draco Slayers storyline, we'll see.
Yeah.
Or the
Oh, does it? Let me pull up Avita's card art again. I just
He will
looked at that.
still forever be known as Aluber the Boober of Doobers.
Oh yeah. Avita does have kind of a weird gun arm that kind of has. I mean, I don't know if you could say specifically it's Clife's End, because it is a rainbow like Klee crest thing, but also even blown up, it's so fucking tiny that it could be any. Actually, yeah, it's got a different gem color. But Avita has several Klee crests on her body. It looks like. We'll talk about this more in detail, but I'll show you what we mean. So, like, she's got that there and that there. I don't think it's actually, like, a one-to-one, because, like I said, both gems are kind of reddish, but it's, closer. I mean, unless Wikipedia directly translated the master guide on this, they could just be making shit up. They often do that, these wikis. And if the master guide said that, I'm gonna tell them, like, okay, so that's just, you're saying that, because it's not a one-to-one.
I'm pretty sure, as I just said earlier, I'm pretty sure fucking, they got the fucking Baikakal thing off of the Shin Megami Tensei wiki. This is the only reference I could find for it.
they're like I think that's clearly meant to be the Klee crest, and like I said, it is kind of rainbow patterned like Clife's End.
Also,
But
that was just to tell you, the
extra
weirdest thing
moments.
is SMT usually pulls from a lot of the Japanese occult, like pop culture, as in like a very like a lot of the weird.
That's
like,
fine,
corners of
but
Japanese
as far as
culture.
I know, there's no.
So like it sounds usually very weird to other cultures because it usually comes from like their own kind of like pocket corner of ideas.
Okay, that's not the point. The point is, all of the other ones were real things, and this one wasn't.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. A lot of fantasy things break
Go,
shit up
stop.
anyway.
Stop. It doesn't matter.
No, that's a deck list, not the fucking. I'm like, why am I seeing Monarch cards in here? No, that's the deck list. I'm just trying to double check
No,
if there's any other
fuck.
card arts to show you.
Fuck you, negate your flu under these bullshit.
Let's see, we talked about most of the big ones. We've shown you climate change before. Sure, I'll pull up Laser Clip because it's funny. Card-wise, Recreate is interesting, but it's not. Other than it's just another weird Klee boy. It doesn't really do anything that like art-wise. It's a continuous trap that's kind of a skill drain. If a monster is normal or flip summoned and it's level 4 or lower, negates effects at the end of the turn. If a monster is special summoned, if it's level 5 or higher, negates effects at the end of this turn, and then banish it when it leaves the field. So it's not a full skill drain because it's not forever. And it does require you to have a Klee card on board. If you don't have any Klee cards except Recreate, you send it to the graveyard. But it does do the thing that skill drain does for your Klees, where it makes them huge again because they're negated. And then I think that resets your attack anyway, so it doesn't matter. Which new one? Don't even know the name of it again off the top of my head. It's... What is it? That's Darkwing Blast. D-Bad is Darkwing Blast. God, I hate the fucking formatting on YG Organization. Please, guys, fucking, I know it's all news, it's not all news. I need you to, like, put all the merch drops and all the Rush Duel stuff in separate categories so that I don't need to scroll through it all. Alright, I'm literally gonna give up on that. I'm gonna go to the Wikipedia. Yo, what the fuck are the sets called? Not Photon Hypernova, though that is containing Galaxy support.
It's good color support actually.
Well, yeah, no shit. It was made in 2020. Well, 2022. You know what I mean? It's new.
Oh yeah.
We've confirmed, by the way, a Trap Trick structure deck. I somehow doubt we're gonna get that over here. Of course. They gave us the Dark World deck. I guess they gotta fuck up somewhere. Amazing Defenders. That's right. Which is... Oh, Amazing Defenders is D-Bad. Oh, I see. Okay, it's deck build pack Amazing Defenders. Okay, yeah. I thought that was, yeah. They are weird. You've got Purity, which is, a, like, one-card Xyz type deck. It's very weird. There's the Mikanko, which is a ritual archetype, but with equip spells and stuff. Very interesting things are going on. And then
very
Rescue
much
Ace.
a magical girl show in cartoon.
No, why? They're not magical girls. Why do people keep saying that? They're
Because they
fucking
trick-
Mikos. It's in their name.
Yeah, but Mikos are also.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I
Just because
okay.
Sailor Mars was a Miko does not mean Mikos are magical girls.
No, I was thinking about just. Okay.
No, it's they're about the dances, which are sacred. The Kagura. It's a fucking Miko thing. It's all Mikos all the way down.
But would you say it's Miko ne?
So they've also future-proofed it because they've also had like other different character arts. So they could probably get like 2 different kinds of extra main deck ones too.
Well, yeah, it's about the 2 main girls, but they have a couple of other things.
I think Omega's gonna stab me.
I'm just gonna ignore you.
Okay. That's
No,
funny.
like I'm literally looking at the main deck girls though, and no, they're just wearing Nico outfits with different different.
It's
priestly
more because I
garments.
know is like the super form is them combined, so
I don't actually know if it's them combined.
or I guess it's maybe like it's the special.
It's
like
the legend
or
of the
it might-
Mikan Co.
Then it might be like I guess it might be like Shiranui where it's like their first one or something.
I mean, there
Also,
is future proofing in it, but they don't need future proofing. It's a deck.
There
builder.
are other things than magical girls that do fusion dances.
I more meant that is like they do transformations and have like special. Yeah.
They don't. I mean, they don't. We don't know that they do transformation, strictly speaking.
So is Kamen Rider a magical girl show?
The transforming hero, which is Magical Girl adjacent.
God damn, Axe, how are you more
Magical
of
Girl
a
is just
shitter
literally,
nerd
it's literally
than me?
just female transforming heroes. It's literally just what it is.
I hate Japan. Japan was a mistake.
No, I'm not gonna blame Japan for this. I don't know if anybody in Japan is this anal retentive about what genre
Yes,
is watch.
yes,
They don't.
are.
I don't know, Dallas. To them, everything is anime.
That's true, but I know I also have been on 2chan before.
Okay, but you can't read 2chan.
I can read the Google translated documents of 2chan.
Yeah, but that's not
Uh,
worth it.
But
It's
no,
not. Don't do
there
it.
are a couple of interesting. The Rescue Ace are really. I don't think they're gonna be good because they want you to control a specific Rescue Ace monster.
They have a lot of specific points where you can easily stop them.
Yeah, they basically they're one. Rescue Ace is one of those archetypes where you need one of the guys. Is it Hydrant? I think it's Hydrant. You know, because they're
It's one of
firefighters.
two, and you can like, I think like there's two of them specifically. And
Yes.
the one counts as Hydrant, and then you can.
Yeah,
switch
they
easily.
have a couple of redundancies, but it's still that's one of those things that like they're gonna come up with other bullshit to do them. I mean, I love Rescue Ace because their trap cards or spelled trap cards are named stuff like Rescue, Alert, Contain, Extinguish, in
It's all,
all
like,
caps
orders.
with exclamation points.
It makes you think of when you think of a runic, where it's like it's literally just the name of the spell or the action you're doing, which I think is
Yeah.
fun because it adds a different flavor to it.
The Puri are fucking weird, y'all. Dallas, did
Yeah,
you
because
look at
it's
these
like
up at all?
it's a level 1
No, I
that
have
goes
not
into
seen
rank
these.
2s
Okay.
via effect, and then goes into a rank 7 depending on effect.
I would assume these are in Dread games.
Yeah, there'll be some Trad Games links in the back there. Also,
It's kind of it's kind of crazy in how it's done, but like
In other news, gosh, I can't remember. I don't know why, but for some reason, whenever I want to remember the name of the Yu-Gi-Oh set, I can't.
I don't remember the name of
what's
it
that?
either.
The set that's about to come out, Tactical Masters. There we go. Thank you.
Oh right, the tickle one, yeah.
Power of the Elements already
Tactical
came out. Tactical
Masturbation.
Masters. In other news, Konami has once again leveled the waifu tax. There are 4 Labyrinth Ultra Rares, which is the most out of any of the 3 archetypes. Though, to be fair, some of that might be because Labyrinth is probably the best one. Competitive.
Well, that is
wise.
also true.
Like, they're the
I don't
one
know.
that's definitely, people are definitely going to be playing some Trap Trick Labyrinth shit.
I mean, Mr. Rune, I've seen pop up a surprising amount in the OCG.
I think it's because, well, one, because Runic is, like, it's funny, right? But
Yeah.
also,
You're just
I
playing
think
yourself.
a lot of people, I talked about this because some people were like, are
But,
people
like,
gonna
in tournaments?
are people gonna buy Tactical Masters? I want to be able to get Labyrinth on the cheap, and I'm like, yes, people are gonna buy it because people will try and play Runic because they want Mill to be good. Like, I don't know that Runic is a good deck. People want it to be good because it's a
Like,
it's a
it-
Mill
It
strat.
has made a non-insignificant amount of appearances at tournaments, to the point of I am confident in saying it may be a rogue deck, but I also don't
Have
know.
we confirmed
how
that the
the
Droll reprint is in this? In the English version? I guess we have, yeah. Okay. Oh, shit, it's a collector's rare as well. Okay, well, yeah, so people are gonna buy it. Actually, hell,
No,
look
I
at
don't
it.
want to play Valiant. I don't want to play Valiants because that deck looks
I think you could make it work.
Yeah,
That deck
you would
looks
want to
dumb,
play
and I
Valiants.
love
They're
it.
fucking weird. There are some pretty sick, I just realized there's some very sick reprints in this. Anti-Spell Fragrance, Imperial Iron Wall, Duelist
Ooh,
Alliance,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Lilith Lady of Lament, and Malice Lady of Lament are got reprinted because they're both about traps.
That's
I
another
think
good
this is
one.
the first reprint Absolute King Backjack has had in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in Structure Deck Lair of Darkness. That makes sense. Also, Droll and Trap Trick are in here. Actually, no, these
Yeah,
are the
no,
good
those-
ones. Astrograph Sorcerer is getting a reprint. Book of Eclipse is getting a reprint. Compulse. This is a good set, y'all.
Yeah. No, those are some great reprints. Well, I don't know how much Compulsion needed to reprint, because I think that's been printed in like
I
80
mean,
million
Compulsion's been
structure
reprinted a
decks.
lot, but it is a normal trap, so it's a good one to get in this
That's
set. Scapegoat's also being reprinted in this, presumably with errata.
Yeah.
That card has been reprinted
No.
about 50 times, but it's been a few years.
Yeah. But no, hey, I'm all for good reprints. I just
Yeah.
wish they'd reprint droplets.
Yes, no, because they get. I mean, it's funny, right? Because Master Duel gave us a free droplet. I've been playing that in some decks, and I'm like, holy shit, droplet is amazing. We do need more reprints of
Yeah.
this.
Droplet and TTT are the two most egregious ones, in my opinion. Oh, and
I
Access
mean,
Code.
TTTs are fairly cheap, because you got them out of the Mega Pack. They were lower priced. I actually pulled one out of the tins.
I mean, they're 40.
That's still
That's
bad,
not-
but that's better than it was. We've talked about
Well,
this before.
yes, it used to be 100.
The unfortunate way Yu-Gi-Oh buying and selling works is when there is a buyout, that
Yeah.
means that card goes to 3 digits, which is stupid.
Yeah, that.
That's one of those things that, like we've said, Konami just needs to fucking.
Oh no, never mind.
Nope.
It's not 40 anymore. It's 50.
Okay, maybe it's been a little while, so that makes sense. Hopefully they do give it another round of reprints. It's just I do agree that we need to reprint more frequently. I think some of that has to do with, again, the ever since COVID. I know I say this every time we talk about this, but it is true. Ever since COVID, the supply lines have been fucked. Tactical Masters was not supposed to come out after Power of the Elements. That's not how it happened in the OCG, but because supply is fucked, they are coming out that way. So, like, I kind of think Konami maybe would want to reprint some of these sooner, but they can't. They do, for some reason, keep stripping them out of structure decks, which they need to stop. They did let the Imperm reprint stay in the Cyber Dark structure deck, so you can get your $20 Imperms.
Yeah, Imperm. I don't like cards being $20, but I think that's just a staple of CCGs at this
Well,
point.
and also it's $20 because that's as much markup as you can get on a structure deck, because that's what it is. It's basically the surcharge of buying the structure deck,
Yeah.
which is MSRP 15. Usually, if it's in demand, it goes up by about $5. Did I actually put laser clip on screen? We've been talking about stuff. Yes, I did. Okay.
Yes, you have.
Okay. Good. You've
No,
been staring at laser clip
I-
when we talk about this.
Yeah, my biggest problem with Yu-Gi-Oh is still how cost prohibitive it is. It's just.
Yes, it's a little
It wasn't.
expensive. And this is why I think a lot of people turned to Master Duel and then rapidly fell off Master Duel, because, as we've discussed,
Oh, Master Duel is not more friendly.
I mean, it is kind
Oh,
of.
it's more friendly.
If you want to play a deck, I have literally never put money into Master Duel. And I have bought cosmetics with gems, and I have made decks with gems. Like, it's workable. It's a little bit like Duel Links, where you have to pick, like,
one thing.
yeah, you have to pick like 1 or 2 decks you really like at a time and build that deck, and then when you're done, you can work on building your next deck. And sometimes that means you have to be like, I'm never going to play this Ultra. I'm going to scrap it. So I realized. I guess you're busy, Loth, and can't be in the thing. Because I know you've been here in a while, but I'm like, wow, you have been here a while, but you're not in the call. Loth is in the peanut gallery though. Yeah, Valiance looks cool. I obviously want to play Labyrinth. One, because I'm a sucker for the classical myths and like it's kind of funny, but also it's a normal trap support archetype, so I'm like, oh shit, Mirror Forces. I own 3 copies of Mirror Force Launcher for reasons.
Wait, could you also run Paleo? Because they're normal traps too.
Yes, you could probably. Paleo Labyrinth is probably a build.
That does
I don't
give you
think
the
I
rest
would
of the
run it
cards
that
in your
way,
deck.
but you can absolutely. The main things you're gonna see is you're probably gonna see like pure Labyrinth with probably some like Lair of Darkness type shit, because those guys involve trap cards.
I don't know how much Labyrinth has gone in OCG. It might be in that giant block of other.
I think it is an other. It did show up briefly, but remember, Dallas, like I said, in the OCG, Power of the Elements came out after Tactical Masters, so the meta immediately got bulldozed by Sprite.
Right.
So how good Labyrinth was... Oh, you're on mobile. Okay.
But Mr. Rune has just consistently been like
Yeah.
a 1 or 2 selection in the meta, which is confusing, but
It's funny. But it's getting... I think it's the first one to get support. They've confirmed they're getting another fusion monster in one of the future core sets. But yeah, the deck build packs are always really interesting. They're usually like one that's good. Out of the new ones, I don't know what that is. Because like
I
the
guess it's the
Fury
one-
are like 1 card exceeds. but they're not like Zodiacs.
But are they better than Exorcister, which is the current one card exceeds that's good?
I don't know. Exorcister is like it's literally Evil Swarm. Like you think it's good because it counters the meta, but it's not really that good. As much as I would love Exorcister to be good, I'm used to literally every deck build pack archetype I like being the shit one. Hello, Live Twin. Hello, Dragon. I mean, they're not the shit ones, but they're the ones that aren't meta out of the box.
Live Twin definitely wasn't the shit one out of their pack.
Well, that's true. Magistus exists.
Yeah, I was like, excuse me.
I think Magistus needed like
yes.
2 or 3 support cards.
Yes, no. Evil Twin.
I think they got them a bit sooner or later.
Live Twin was no Drytron, but it wasn't Magistus bad.
It's true. People were playing Live Twin packages in like lots of decks. There was Eldritch Live Twin. There was all kinds of Live Twin variants. Until we got our Unchained Live Twin was very popular, and you still do run one of the Unchained Link 4 in Live Twin/Evil Twin. But until they got their in archetype Link 4 and then Sunny Snitch, which is their Searcher, they were kind of like you can't really run them pure, but they still worked. But Magistus is weird. They needed, like I said, I think they needed several rounds of support before that became a thing. But
and obviously the good one out of that.
Drytron was Drytron, yeah.
Yeah, Drytron. Drytron was Drytron. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know what Drytron is. You will still sometimes see people in Master Duel making Drytron work. The fuckers.
I have not. Actually,
I don't really see it a lot. I mostly see it in like people like doing replays, like on you know the whatevers, the live match. Which I assume that's probably why, because if you ran into somebody playing Drytron in this day and age in the wild, you might go sick.
I would just go, sweet, free win.
Let's see. Grand Creators. No, okay. Grand Creators included Punk. Punk is a good deck. Punk was the winners there, I think.
Yeah, Punk was good. Especially now. Punk is very good now. And arguably, Evil Twin is better than Drytron now because.
Though actually, no, I didn't realize it because they have dumb names. Right. Grand Creators was Adventure. Okay. Yes, that was the meta one.
Right. But also,
Punk was also
Omega,
pretty good.
I would also say Drytron or Evil Twin is technically better than Drytron now because Splight hollowed them out and uses them as a puppet now.
It's true they do use Link 2s. You can play Sprite Live Twin. I would not do that personally because, like I said, I think with Trouble Sunny, you don't actually need to put another package in your Live Twin deck. But that is unfortunately not how Yu-Gi-Oh players do. Like, it's dumb, and I know it would fuck over some decks. I really wish like Yu-Gi-Oh had a proper xenophobic like lock on everything.
I do.
Because like that's real. Like I talked before about how I got. I think I said that on air. I got Kali Yuga on my turn by somebody playing a Raid Raptor PK Blackwing package. If you couldn't do that, if you couldn't run DDD Kali Yuga in a non-DDD deck for like whatever reason, that wouldn't happen, and I could totally out that board.
It's why I think I feel like most Yu-Gi-Oh probably would have been a bit more find if at least it was 30% more locked into packs of card type.
I think the main thing is just that the effect is that because Yu-Gi-Oh used to be that way and those cards all sucked, Konami learned the wrong lesson from that and was like, oh, well, we'll make them generic so that will make them suck less.
Well, they sucked in different ways is the thing.
Yes. Whereas, honestly, if... I think with Kali Yuga's effect, like, even if you do that only in DDD on your own turn, that's still fucking crazy. Just do it in the end phase or do it before battle and just punch.
Yeah, but you're playing DDD.
No,
you have to know what you're doing.
Well, like, Kali Yuga is irrelevant only now. Like, Kali Yuga only became irrelevant now because of Deus King, Decimax, Dick Quad. Because basically what Kali Yuga was used for is you make Kali Yuga and then your opponent cannot hand trap you.
Alright, so this is... okay.
Yeah, I was just showing them laser effect. We were we got through the last couple cards because there was only a couple left.
Yeah,
including Genius. Though actually, I don't think we even talked about what Genius does. Let me go back. We got distracted by people talking about
We could show the new support that came out
I
next.
think so.
I mean, that there is no new
okay.
support.
So it has the.
Oh, you mean the Galaxy support? No, we're not gonna do that.
Unfortunately, has the same 8-bill bill for effect of spell trap effects.
Yeah, it's a Link 2 machine. It has 1800 attack, because of course it does. This Link Summon card is unaffected, and it's immune to Link monsters, so it kind of does the thing. And then once per turn, target a face-up card in each player's field except this card. Both those cards have their effects negated. And then when 2 monsters special summon to the zones, this points to add a level 5 of a machine monster. So yeah, this is just legacy support for Cleese, because the idea is you would pendulum summon to the 2 zones from your extra deck, and you would add a machine monster. I don't think you really bother with this a lot in Cleese. It is a machine link too, so it is vital for certain decks, and it does have the ability to negate a monster, or any card actually. You have to negate one of your own cards, but I think you can just negate Genius with Genius, and then it still goes through, because that's the negate. You target the 2 cards and they become negated.
Yeah.
But so it's a decent boy, but it is not required. And they have not done any further Klee support. But yeah, we've been going for about 2 hours. It's a little short, but don't worry, audience. I'm going to make it up to you. Let me actually officially check the poll, though. But like I said, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at an interesting point, but I will admit the format right now in paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty flat because Sprite just came out. They are, in fact, really good. There are other decks you can play, but I am fairly certain... Actually, that's a good question. When is the next ban list? When did Konami say the next one is? Da-da-da.
Isn't it October?
Oh, god damn it. No, they said the next update will be no earlier than a few months from now. That was the one that was in May this year, so...
They're always too long of needing...
I mean, I think it's because of the thing I brought up earlier. The products are fucked. They don't know when sets are coming out, so they don't want to commit. I suspect next ban list, Sprite's gonna get some shit slapped. Like, Toad is probably going back to jail. Winda may go back to jail, because it's really easy for... Even if Tear Lament isn't better than Sprite right now, it is really easy for Tear Lament to make a turn 1 Winda after they have done their whole combo, so... yeah. Oh, yeah. You too, Loth. Stay safe, buddy. I don't know if he already left, but if he's listening along. Oh, yeah. Loth's been fuckled by some stuff. We'll talk about that later, but there's several... Loth is not here currently. He is out of his house sitting, so that's why we're not doing prog this week. But I'm pulling up the poll.
I think Machina won.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it did.
Yeah.
Yes, with 6 votes, Machina won. DDD got 2 votes. Blue Eyes got 2 votes. Fuffle Pfeiffer got 2 votes. Lunalight got 1 vote. Blackwing got no votes for some reason. That actually surprises me.
I thought they would have gone for it because they like causing pain.
Yeah, there's a lot of Blackwings, and it's an anime archetype.
There's like monster, 57 monsters.
But I don't know. Maybe Blackwing was too memey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Machina 1 with a landslide. Damn. Axe has slurped up all of Dallas's powers in winning the poll.
I think
Yeah.
that's all. I think that's where it went because I haven't had good luck with my deck so far.
But yeah, so that might be next week or it might not. Actually, no. Next week we should definitely round out because I think Infernoid is our last thing to do in the dual terminal shenanigans. So we'll get Infernoid out of the way, and then it'll probably be Machina, so I don't have to make something else out. Yes, Varen, we've talked about that before, but yes, the Earth Legendary Duelists has been split up. The Shizu stuff is coming in a holiday box, and the Morphtronic stuff was put in Power of the Elements at a low rarity, admittedly, which is cool. But now I have to ask, where the fuck is my Amazon support?
You know, maybe they could just not release the Shizu support. That'd be also an option.
No, they've committed. They're doing it in December for a special holiday box. It's
I
also
just-
with the
I fucking-
It's also bundled with the Witchcrafter and the Skystriker support new stuff.
Like, you talk about cards I want to ban, it's those fucking cards.
Oh yeah, no. I don't. I don't know what the fuck Konami was smoking, making Exchange from Spirit an archetype, a card that had to be errataed because it was banned because it's an original format. People were using it to basically OTK or FTK. Put your whole goddamn deck in the graveyard, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
do?
now
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, the only way to do that now is to summon a mill your entire extra deck first.
Yeah, hey, I wonder.
No,
what the
actually
issues-
mill their extra deck
Yeah.
first.
Still, I think the Ishizu deck, with its variants of Exchange of Spirit, does in fact do something similar.
Yeah, no. The Yoshizu cards were a mistake, and I hate Konami for it.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, it was really dumb. Like, the legendary duelist sets are supposed to be for, like, duelists who embody the archetype of those, so, okay, cool. You picked Amazons for Earth, you know. There were multiple characters in the anime that played Amazons. Morphtronics is, like, that's really good to give them support, and it is actually really good. Yeah, Shizu played Earth Fairy, but what the fuck? I guess Konami feels, like, committed to have to put an old Duel Monsters season character
Oh no,
in the
yeah,
packs.
it's because the Yugi Boomer tax.
Yugi Boomer.
It's so weird. I mean, like, I know that that's how the TCG markets those, because for the Duelist to the Deep, they just put Mako Tsunami on it, none of those other fucking characters.
Yeah,
Even though
those
his
are
cards were the
really
I
shittiest
really
in
like
that set.
Shark way more as a character.
Well, also, the Shark cards are good. They're fucking
Yeah.
good. Yo, did you see the... I know Axe did, but one, if you're not watching MBT's new Broke Boy series, what is wrong
I
with
love
you?
Broke Boy. Broke Boys is like I think the best thing ever. Because like if I had to pay for shipping, I could just buy an actual good Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Well, that's the thing Dallas is talking about. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is expensive. It is kind of, but also it's not, because you can make some dumb decks for cheap. Their last episode that MBT just put out was
Yeah.
$1 limit.
No,
I've
just
seen them do
wish-
the $25 one, and it's like that's
I
I
just
actually could do something decent. with that.
Honestly, I just wish that Konami supported those as formats. That's always been my biggest problem with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, like yeah.
In a nutshell, is that Konami just doesn't believe in formats.
I mean, they
Or when they do-
They allowed
when-
the formats to be sanctioned, but they haven't done a lot with them. Like, I don't think anybody after, and people out there, tell me in the comments or top on our Discord, let me know if you actually see common charity side events. I feel like common charity was really cool until people basically just labbed it out and realized that Luna Light is tier 0.
No.
Um,
What common charity should have been, and I've said this before, common charity should have been only if it has ever been printed in a high rarity, it's banned. It's not allowed.
Dallas, I don't think that will work because Konami loves to do in like OTS packs, loves to do high rarity reprints of cards to give players their shinies. So you would not be able to run a lot of cards for no
Let me
good
rephrase
reason.
that. Let me rephrase that. Its original printing should be a common printing.
That would work. That would be weird, but that could work. That would still be pretty jank. I mean, I think Konami should just attack the secondary market. They should just sanction an event where they just partner with TCG Player and are like, hey, if this card costs more than $1 on TCGplayer.com at this time, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Probably
that
there's a
would
lot
be
of cards that
hilarious.
actually work. There's a lot of cards that work there. It'd be that you can never play an extra deck ever.
True
But hey.
facts. True facts. Fucking access code talker's still like $40.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
like
it's more
seriously,
than that. What are you talking about?
Oral Sword is like $4.
Oh, that's nothing.
that is.
I-
the-
I- As the
What I'm
person-
saying, like, it's surprisingly reasonable, but it's still high considering most cards you can get for like $1.
Yeah, but Access Code Talker I think is like $60. No, it's sorry. So sorry. Yeah.
No, it is
Yeah, it's
$50.
$60. Oh, wait, where are you finding that?
I'm looking at TCG Player. 50 loadings as low as $50. The market average is like 60 or 70, but remember, people will try and gouge you. Like, there's some people selling you near mint for like $7. But these are not
Oh.
filtered by location. That's why they're so cheap. Those are like OCG printings. They're the Korean and Japanese printing.
Alright,
That
unicorn,
is
that's
dumb.
50
Why are these like
cents.
Oh! Wow, there's a fucking Korean Yu-Gi-Oh seller who I think is trying to pay to win. They've paid to give themselves like a star or recommendation so they appear at the top. God, I fucking
Wow.
hate secondary marketplaces. TCG Player, I know you got me a good deal. You sold me my box of Power of the Elements for fucking market price, but also fuck you. Fuck you for existing. God. Anyway, watch Broke Boys. Danny made a shark deck for $1.
It was surprisingly holy shit, Island Honor
and
Dark is just a fucker.
that was the week that MBT attempted to become the Tin Dangler, but I won't spoil
And
how that went for him.
The Tin Dangler.
The Tin Dangler.
The Tin Dangler, surprisingly, I don't think will be showing up anytime soon anymore.
Well, I don't believe they'll go. He did it for an episode, so they won't bring it back.
I will.
No, I'm more meant doesn't I don't think he'll ever get a chance to do it again.
Well, no, because that's how it works. I mean, he can still do it in DZ series, Master Roulette. That you should go watch just because MBT is a fucking god.
Oh,
his pulls or god tier.
Watch the Evil Eye versus BA episode. Oh my god, that was the funniest shit
The
ever.
mother,
I lost my fucking mind.
I love how, and he even calls this out. He says, by the way, so Doug does this on an alt, but if I get a royal rare, I can't stand that, so I'm not gonna. The man pulls so many goddamn royal rares. It's freaky. I think he's pulled more royal rares in that series than I own currently.
I think he checked his own footage.
Wait,
to make
how many
sure.
royal rares do you own?
He's got one.
Not
per
that
episode.
many.
I own 2.
I mean, I own more than that, but Dallas, I can tell you for a fact, MBT has pulled more royal rares in that series than you own.
Well, then again, I think I've also disenchanted a few.
I've scrapped a couple, but I own a few. I really wish I owned them in archetypes I liked. The fact that I have a glossy Shio is
I think I own.
I'll say this: the one thing I'll claim to fame. Do you want to know what the first royal rare I got was?
What is it?
Apollosa, Bow of the Goddess.
That's pretty rad.
Hilarious, 'cause that's good.
I think my first royal rare ever is on stream somewhere, so somebody can go check that one out. Anyway,
And my other one I know is Danger Nessie.
That's also pretty rad. But yeah, no, go watch those 2 series. They're cool. Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of affordable, but kind of not. It's weird. Machina won the poll.
Depends if you want to win any tournaments ever.
I mean, honestly, you can, depending on the matchups, you can win tournaments even at you can beat locals.
You can do,
But,
if you want to win any
Axe,
major
I'm
thing.
trying to end it. I do wish MD had alt arts as well. But we're not going down the rabbit hole. Like I said, sorry this one is shorter, though we added 10 minutes at the end there. But to make it up to you, chat, though, I admit you haven't done a lot of buying memberships or super chatting or supporting me on Patreon, so I don't know if you deserve it. I'll have to think about that. But if you do in fact deserve it, I will be doing some bonus streams this week. I think the order I'm going to do them in is tomorrow. I got my special, totally, definitely real Nintendo DS capturing technology device software to work. So I would love to present to you Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2 Grimoire of the Rift.
Nice.
So, I've been talking the game up a lot. I've mentioned this before, and I will mention it again on stream. I think I have 500 hours in that game.
Wow.
Because I
might
beaten
have
it.
more than you.
I mean, I don't know. I've beaten it multiple times, and if you beat that game, that's 100 hours each time.
Oh, yeah,
minimum.
easy.
So, I have a fuck ton of hours. I'm guesstimating. I don't know how many times I've restarted. So, it's a lot. I just restarted it a couple ever. I know. You could gift membership. It's okay. It's okay, Baron. I know. I'm kidding. My main problem is the people who want to give me money already, and then they're like, "But Omega, I already give you money." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to sell it to the new people."
Yeah, but the new people don't exist.
They do exist. There's several people without stars.
Axe! Why you gotta be so rude?
I don't know.
Well, I maybe Axe feels like he can get away with it because he is also a gold patron and has been one for a long time. He is a paying customer.
Oh, I'm not.
It's like they don't exist
I'll
because they
say
don't
right now,
bother
I'm
showing
not.
up to the Discord or by making themselves known. It's like they just kind of fuck off and don't do anything.
These people are in the Discord. I think most of them are. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I give them shit because they're not going to talk back to me, and I know that's pathetic, but it's funny.
Hey, X, fuck you. I'm a non-gold patron, and also I'm in the Discord. So
Well,
go
you have mod
fuck yourself,
privileges,
you
so
fucking-
hey, you got the fun
he
access.
got that after he was here
Oh,
as a
you're
non-paying
correct.
customer.
I do have mod privileges.
This is where Axe gets kicked out of the college server muted or something.
No,
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yes, so I will love to bring you that tomorrow on Wednesday night, and then I also got this working though it was a little janky. For Thursday
come
because I will
on.
not have to edit a Yu-Gi-Oh episode that's 2 hours long. Calm down, Axe. I'm
Oh
ending
my
it.
god.
I unmuted you.
I
you
also
ungrateful
want
prick.
to bring to you a little bit of a game that I've reinstalled that I love called Game Dev Tycoon. So that will probably be Thursday. Will be a run of Game Dev Tycoon with chat. I will take your awful, terrible game suggestions, chat.
I
You
hate
will
how that
probably
game actually has a
financially
meta to
ruin
do it.
us.
That game actually has a meta.
I mean, real life game dev has a meta. It's just I will warn everybody, the game is slightly out of date. There are going to be some combos that you think are good that are not good because those games were not
2015
famous
game.
when the game came out. Yeah, it's 10 years old now. But some things do work. Vampire RPG does work. You can invent Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines in the 80s.
Or Vampire.
Or Vampire, yeah. It's kind of more of an action RPG. You can invent Halo early. You can invent Mass Effect. Actually, were there sci-fi RPGs?
I think you can do Elder Scrolls early too.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, there were some.
XCOM.
I mean, you don't need to. Yeah, that's more strategy, but yeah. Still.
It's an SRPG. I consider it. You go
Does
down
it care about
still
JRPGs
trees.
or JRPG its own thing?
JRPG is not a separate category. I think there are mods for that, but no, RPG is RPG. But also Elder Scrolls is fucking old. Arena was very old, but you can make dungeon art. There's a lot of stuff, and I'd love to show it to you. There's a lot of options. So, like I said, I've got a couple bonus stream plans. I hope I will see you guys there. If you want to make sure you're there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. And I would love if you are in this chat now and you are not already a member, if you joined our channel membership, click the join button or membership link in the description, because you get access to your little badges and your little special chats and your emojis, which usually right about now some people will phantom emoji me. They'll just appear, hopefully, if they're still watching. That's okay. I don't like I said, I would love to see the revenue go a little up for this month. Like I said, I'd love for you to chip in for Lucky to get a birthday present, because I am going to buy him one. But you don't have to. It's okay. It's all right if you can't support. I have to do the shill, because if I don't tell you to support, you won't support. If I tell you to support and you're like, I can't, that's okay.
Remember, you can pay to shut me the fuck up.
That is a thing that happens, but won't happen right now. But yes, I hope to see you for more streams this week. Don't forget to watch What's Up. Please watch the Great Ace Attorney that happened earlier, though Lucky and I got a little bamboozled by how long that investigation section was.
I'm kind of annoyed by how, I'm still annoyed
how
it's,
long that 3DS shilling section was?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm more annoyed that, they say there's all these plot beats of being like, oh, you're not supposed to trust the people you know the whole game. And it's like, you put this now and not answer these questions after 6 hours?
Yeah, it's really, it's the, you can,
why did you not tell us anything? What the fuck?
you can tell that
Lucky's reaction the other day was just the funniest fucking thing.
Oh,
you can tell that the
just
game
about
developers
entire
knew they
section.
were splitting the game into 2 games.
Oh yeah, because I know. Okay, everyone says the Baskervilles are a big deal in the second game because it's a bunch of music tracks are named after Baskervilles.
That's a very interesting way to know that that's going to come back. I know that that's not resolved because of, I can say this because it won't spoil for Lucky, but I know that the manuscript plot is not resolved by this case we're dealing with. So
I'm annoyed. I hope Suda will at
what's
least
the next case?
say what she did, but hey.
We'll
guess
see what
not.
happens in the trial, which we will get to next time, because after another 4 hours and 20 minutes, we couldn't get to it, but they're a good 4 hours and 20 minutes.
I will say at the last 30 minutes it wasn't because you were rushing through all of it, but hey.
I mean, it was okay.
And you guys were also really tired at the time, so.
a lot of the stuff. Are you the one dislike Axe? Is that you? Are you fucking
No.
That's
knocking
Axe.
on
No,
me?
it's
Well,
definitely
I don't
Axe.
fucking
It's
dislike
definitely
your
Axe.
shit. Why would I?
It's Axe.
There's one
I don't
single
dislike-
dislike. I will narc on them.
I don't.
Anyway.
I gave it a like because I always do that.
It's good. That's what you should do.
It helps you get more views, hopefully.
It does actually. By the way, throw this video a like if you haven't liked it already, people at home. But yes, so like I said, more bonus streams. Go back and watch Great Ace Attorney, and also check out our What's Up episode. It got a little bamboozled by the copyright system because it do be like that sometimes. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with this demented music I have had playing on loop this entire time. So I appreciate nobody complaining about that.
What
So
fucking music were you playing?
I can't tell because it'd be.
I'll drop you a link to that.
Okay, it's actually. I just listened to like 3 seconds. It's good.
It's got a certain vibe. Anyway, good
Oh,
night,
okay,
everybody.
This is fucking weird.
I'm
Holy
gonna
shit.
stop streaming. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.